Audio.
Please join me for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Kathy's not here tonight. She sent her regards. She is unavailable and she asked me to sit in the chair for her. So I'm Valerie. Hi. I think I know everybody.
You said I should have made that chair bigger.
No. So we're gonna try to follow through the agenda. I like to move kind of quickly. So we call the meeting to order about that. How about roll call?
Okay, Lucella.
Here.
Watson. Rec. Leo Short is out. Sauber. Here. Olin. Here. And Ken.
Here.
No. Next up is, are there any changes or additions to the agenda tonight? Nope, alrighty. How about the consent agenda? Is everybody okay with the consent agenda? Do I hear a motion to accept it? Make a motion to accept it.
A second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I have a couple of accounts payable questions.
Okay, let's do Fran first.
Oh, I didn't, I'm sorry.
Councilor,
That's okay. There was a really large, too large for me, cost for, I'm trying to find the insurance for our workman's comp. Is that a normal, for 1 month, it was like 13,000, I'm trying to find it right now, sorry.
That's not 1 month. That's our annual.
Page 20.
Yeah,
There's also a large one.
16,000,
Right, that's our annual.
okay, thank you.
And there's also
Probably
100,
should reflect that.
what does it say?
Oh, I guess it says 25, 26.
Mhm.
It just said July 18th. Okay, thank you.
Councilor Masilla?
Yeah, I had a similar question on insurance. So on the new packet, there was a charge for $120,656.78. So that's the annual liability insurance.
It's all our property, all of our, auto liability property. Can't think of everything it is, but we bought some new, we have new property and new equipment. So it has caused that to go up, but that's what that's for. And it's normally right around 115 to 116,000.
So I know we had a discussion during the budget about allocating this. What's it gonna take from a council standpoint to do allocations for our insurance and our interest income to the appropriate funds, so that when we come to budget time, each one of them is funding a portion of this instead of getting the general fund?
They do fund a portion of it. It comes out of those materials and services allocations that come from each of the funds. So there's the payroll allocations, and at the bottom, there's materials and services, and that's where that money comes from. I will have to increase the percentages though, if our insurance will be 120.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said about payroll, or was that?
So on the budget, under each fund, under transfers, there's the payroll allocations that are transferred. And then underneath that is materials and services, which is our way of making less data entry, but still allocating various percentages across the funds.
And let's say insurance.
No, it just, I know what the back end is because I created materials and services, but it includes insurance, it includes things like phone bills, it includes anything that generally hits all of the funds at some point, rather than breaking it out so minutiae, which takes a lot of time to do. When I first got here, we took some of the most common stuff and said, okay, well, this is estimate how much we spend, let's put it under materials and services, so. We can break it out for 26, 6, 7, but that's a lot of extra work. I'll need another staff member to do it.
Well, it's one entry, it's
No, it's
$120,000.
absolutely not one entry.
But it's $120,000 divided by 7 funds.
Right, you have to enter them all separately.
Right, it's seven.
If you estimate that 1/7 fund times every time we would have to do this, that's a lot of
We do it once a
money.
year.
But that's not the only thing that's not split out, so we just thought it was easier just to do the most general stuff, same thing for workers' comp, same thing for, I can't think of anything right now. I mean, this would be something that the council wants to consider what it would look like for 26, 27, but not something now because we've already.
Oh, yeah, we've approved the budget for this year, so I don't think it's for this year, but I think that the council should look
We
at,
can visit it on the road a little bit.
should look at that for future, as well as the interest that we're earning on the money that's sitting in the,
We're dealing with
The
that.
interest splits are now happening. I've already budgeted and took into consideration. The only interest split that is not is as I explained during budget, because I don't know how much of the big LGIP should be split among the funds. So that is not, that's all going into the general fund, because that was never determined. The council can choose, a budget committee can make recommendations as to a particular allocation. But since it would be difficult to track where that money comes from, because if I can do what I need to do, then I wanna keep more money at LGIP and less in regular accounts, so it would be quite a bit to track where all that money comes from.
yeah, so we can have a further discussion about this, but because water and sewer money is allocated specifically for water and sewer, if we're putting any of the funds from water and sewer into LGIP, then the interest that's earned from LGIP from water and sewer need to go to water and sewer.
The way that works is because we do not have a separate bank account for water and sewer, it's all commingled into 9726, and the budget allocations are how we track it. I would have to track on a monthly basis or an annual basis, monthly more likely, exactly what money I would have to break it out quite a bit because I won't know if the way this generally works, if I wanna make more interest, which I do, and that is interest, I would say, okay, we're only keep $200,000 in our 9726, which is our general checking. Everything else goes to the LGIP. If we need it, it's a quick snap transfer. But it's not, well, I'm gonna take 100 from water, I'm gonna take 100 from sewer, I'm gonna take 100 from parks. It's just gonna be a bucket that I'm gonna say, okay, we have a lot of money in the checking account. Let's move it over to get better interest. Unless I won't have any way of tracking it, I just won't.
I just think we need to have a look at it. That's all. And then the other question I had on the tables was this seems to be cell phone month. There was a Verizon charge that was added for, I don't know what that is, and then all of the reimbursements. So does the city have reimbursements and they're all different Verizon accounts that we use?
We're updating that right now. I had Jenny look at the Verizon bills and turns out that we have a lot of on there that were never removed, that should have been, so it has been, in fact.
I'm sorry, we don't have a lot, what?
We had a lot of, I don't know how loud to be without blowing your guys' ears. We had a lot of cell phones or city phones that were being billed that nobody reviewed for a while. I looked at them and had Jenny look at them, and it turns out of the 6 we've been paying for, it's likely we only have 2, maybe only 1 now. So we're working on that and doing that. No, he does not have one. Your phone, but we need to talk about yours. It's what it settled out to be was the harbor phone, and Brady has a cell phone.
That's what I meant, Dave.
And the on-call phone, forgot that
Yeah, that's
one, and
three.
the on-call phone, so 3 of them.
Okay, I just realized that I did not have my mic turned on, so double check and make sure your mics are on. So sorry, all you people out there that
That's a
have
permanent.
been trying to lip read.
These look like those you turn on.
Yeah, okay, so we all set? Sorry about that. Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say nay. Guest presentations. First up is our Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. We don't wanna jump in front of him.
He always goes first,
He should.
because he's a standing dude. And in case he wants, because he's had a long day, so in case he
A
wants
little
to
bit,
go home.
that's not a good deal.
And this will be easy.
I don't have, I never bring my own.
And not getting credit.
just any questions, just from what I'm not looking at, I sent it over yesterday, so.
They got it this afternoon.
Okay, very good. This is my last round of, so for the last 8 months, for the last 4 months, this solid grade I've had a recruit with me. 4 months prior to that, going back to about November, it was intermittent with recruits, and now I'm recruitless.
Yeah, he's,
It's great.
he's not a sidekick anymore.
It's great, like I said, I really enjoy training, there's a lot of value to it, value for Depoe as well. But there's a lot of admin that goes into it, there's a lot of paperwork, because we have to trail everything. And there's something to be said that I like having my car to myself. So it's a blessing and a curse, bro.
Do you want to share with him the good news?
I just briefly read through the email, but was there a date on it, or did it just recruit?
Oh, you told my staff this morning next month.
Well, the email, I did,
No, it doesn't have a date.
Okay, yeah, just what I've been passed down was that we should be getting the new deputy next month at some point. I don't have a date for it, but that's just tentatively. what
His
I-
name is Corbin Collins.
Yes.
I've already not met him in person.
I don't know if you
I
have or
can't
not.
remember
I think
either. I've
when
met so many of them.
He's been here long enough that he was a recruit of mine. I had him for a phase and I had him for checkout, but I think he was working in Celeste at that point.
I know as soon as I see him, I'll know if I see him.
I don't think he
then,
has,
but-
he's typically been more of a South County guy, but he's gonna be a good fit, he's proactive, he likes running traffic, he's sociable, so he's gonna be a good fit here.
Yes, he volunteered to join
Yeah.
us, to join.
Yeah,
us.
I mean, right now, I mean, he's kind of a lower middle seniority guy, so I mean, it's not a lower seniority person that was like stuck with taking this shift, it was a desirable shift, people were talking about it. But of course, it's hard to compete with weekends off, like all weekends, Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those shifts go first, because people want their weekends, and there's not that many of them, but
So what shift is Corbin covering?
he will be working, off the top of my head, it should be
This week, right?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, from noon to 10. So we'll have an overlap there on Wednesday. Yes, yeah. Yes,
But your shift will be staggered on Wednesday, right? Because don't you come in?
right, yeah, it's not gonna be a full overlap shift, but from noon to 5, we'll both be here.
So, what was the outcome of the hit and run and where was the person hit? Was it like-
That I don't know, so, that was on my day off.
Okay.
I was actually in Grand Bond, right before one of them happened, and then I found out about it the next day. But there was a lot of cross wires on that because there were actually 2 separate events that I had heard about that I thought were combined into one because one involved Lincoln City Canine Dog Bite. But yeah, as far as the actual hit and run, well, they were both hit and runs also. The one that I think you're referring to, I don't know really anything about it other than they haven't found the person as far as I know, and that was as of yesterday. I haven't had any updates today, but yeah, it's.
So what are you observing in terms of traffic craziness in downtown?
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah, and it's trying to just control the chaos a little bit. I mean, you can stop any of these cars for just about any low level anything.
Yeah.
But because it's so busy, I mean, we still have to drive with due regard and we're stopping these people, so trying to pull into traffic at the wrong times,
Right.
causing,
Yeah.
might cause an accident. Like, we let a lot of things go. But the ones that really catch our eyes, the ones that, oh, you almost hit that pedestrian, like, yes, we're stopping you.
And then one more question, what happened with 4th of July?
There was, I don't think we had a single call for service, in Depoe itself. I worked from 2 PM to midnight, the 3rd and 4th. And yeah, I said not a single call here. Lincoln City though, they had, I think right around the time the drone show was ending, they went from about 3 fireworks calls to, I think there was probably 30 fireworks calls that just everyone was calling in, but nothing here.
My dog wants to say that you're not entirely correct.
Was there some?
There was some noise from the north. I know one of my friends out
When,
there.
yeah, like, I mean, and I don't doubt
But
that
it was
there,
way better.
yeah, I don't doubt that there were some,
Yeah.
none that were called in that made it to me at least.
Right.
And then when we were here, I didn't see a single one.
Yeah.
I didn't
From my
hear it.
house, I heard this faint thump, just
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
couple that just got one of my dog's attentions, but it was very faint, so I don't know where it was, I didn't get up and
Right.
look. But I knew it wasn't close to me.
Yeah,
I think it made a big difference having the vacation rental management folks really encourage the
oh, it did,
visitors.
yeah.
We were, I don't know
I
if
know,
anybody else
yeah,
was, but.
I know you do.
And I don't know if anything
Whatever
was
you guys
put
are
on the
doing, it's working,
website.
so.
Is
Yeah, there was something on the
It was
website.
on the
Okay.
website.
We might want to look at a stronger message.
Yeah.
Anything else for?
Just another question. We had a discussion at the last council meeting about doing something on 101, similar to maybe what they did in Lincoln City, where they put flags at the crosswalks. And so that the people who are wanting to cross the street grab a flag that was, a small little,
Yeah, kind of.
they grab a little
crossing
flag,
sign,
let
yeah.
people know that they were trying to cross the street, they would cross the street and leave the flag on the other side. Is that something you think, I mean, we've seen it in Lincoln City, I just don't know.
Where in the city?
It was
Well,
it was in the Ocean Lake area.
ODOT cut it down.
Did they cut it down?
Yeah.
So then I was gonna say, that's, cause it's anything highway is always
They
gonna
don't
go
like
back to
it,
ODOT.
no, they don't like it.
I don't know if, again, this is just speculation, that people waving a flag might cause
Yes,
people to really
they-
slam their brakes on or
yes.
something versus.
Versus getting hit by a car.
Right, yeah,
I
that's,
have in
yeah,
Canada, they were using bricks.
Yeah, people carry a brick across the street.
Yeah.
yeah, I'd have to sit down and pack that one.
We're just trying to figure out how we can get people to slow down and stop for the pedestrians.
It's ongoing, I wish I had an answer for you, it's, I mean, I sit right by that crosswalk,
Oh, I
and
know.
I watch people do it. So it's not necessarily I'm always hindering them, I know I hinder a lot, but there are some people from out of state who just, they fall back on their state's laws, and they're like, well, it's not a crime or it's not a violation in my state. I've had that one twice this week already.
Can't even stop pedestrians from crossing, not using a crosswalk. I
No.
see them cross constantly and they're not in a crosswalk.
In Oregon, you can.
They're within, no,
But-
but I'm talking about, if we're talking about safety concerns,
Mhm.
where they're crossing on Highway 1
Mhm.
and they're only 10 feet from a crosswalk, but it doesn't matter, they're still walking.
Yes, so in Oregon, you can cross in non-crosswalk areas, what you can't do is you cannot cause cars to hit their brakes to avoid from hitting you.
Now,
That's what you can't do, and that's.
that's good to know,
Yeah.
because I did not know that, I thought you could not cross on Highway 101 without being in a crosswalk.
Yeah, and
Okay.
there's been some people who've been talked to for that, it's very, people do all the time,
All the time.
all the time.
I get asked about when they cross from the northbound lane and the pedestrians in the southbound lane and then you can go. But isn't that right in Oregon, you can?
Adjacent lane, so as
Adjacent
soon as the pedestrian is out of the adjacent lane to the one you're traveling in,
Yeah,
you can
you
proceed
can
through.
go.
So if there's somebody in the far right-hand lane on the eastbound side, then all the southbound traffic can still actually proceed through until
Until,
they get to that
Yes.
left-hand lane, then, they have to subsequently
yeah,
stop.
it's always been a question.
It has been, I try and just do a lot of education on that when I do stop people, because a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people
And some
actually,
people are so blatant, like I do write tickets for it, because it's so blatant.
Yeah.
but
a lot
most
of
people
times-
actually, not most people, but a lot of people seem to stop both sides and
Yeah,
stay
they do.
stopped.
Yeah, when they do, I do nothing about it.
No,
So,
no,
I'm happy with that.
One quick question.
Yes.
What about the oversized vehicles downtown that are parked that are actually way out in the highway? That is
They do,
so
when
dangerous.
I see those, or I get awarded to them, I go park behind them. And ultimately, we want the problem solved, and the problem is that it just needs to move.
Yeah.
So I put effort into trying to contact the registered owners, and having them come out, and I've had a lot of success with it, because I do have access to phone numbers, if I learn an RO's name and everything. Yeah, no, it's It's super annoying, like, it's just, it's a common sense thing that people just, they park and like, oh, cool, the ocean, but their vehicle is sticking 10 feet out into the lane.
Well, and the other side of it is they pull up so far that they take off, over half the sidewalk.
That as well, yeah, that's something I don't address a lot, because it's hard for me to see, but that is something I can absolutely start looking at for more. And citations, like, again, I do write citations for those vehicles, but
Yeah.
putting a citation on the person's car doesn't solve the problem, it's still gonna be sticking 5, 10 feet out.
But we don't really have any signage about cars only up to whatever.
And that, yeah, that's, again, but it'd be an ODOT thing, because we're talking about Highway 101 still, but yeah, no, it's, frustrating and annoying when people do that, because it just seems like it's common sense not to do it, but a lot of out-of-state drivers, I would say, are the culprits on these ones. A lot of them, yeah, strong majority.
You can say it.
Anybody else have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What about the people with trailers, like boat trailers or camping trailers or such? Is there an official way to park or not park, like if you're going south in the
Are you talking about like the overflow parking up in the lots up here? Yeah, I mean, I would say go with traffic is gonna be the safest way, because then when you're pulling back out into traffic, definitely wanna go with flow instead of against.
But on the west side where the viewing areas are, I've noticed a lot of vehicles parked there.
On the fog line?
Yes.
Perfectly legal. That's something I do, I mean, that's not just because I'm special patrol vehicle, that's,
I don't know if there's a policy.
no, if it were posted no parking, then yeah, it would be an issue, like, since it's an open space, it's a parking area.
Okay.
Parking on that fog line, so.
Yeah, thank you.
Over it or on it?
No, you need to be off it, if you're on it, then you're in the thoroughway. Yeah, on the west side of the fog line, just fine. I don't like advertising that because that's my spot, but people do it, it's fine.
Anything else for? I was just gonna ask you when number 2 is gonna show up, so, yay.
Yeah, like I said, tentatively next month.
Cool.
So, it's fingers crossed, I want to make it.
From a party.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Now, we have our next.
Yes, I'll be there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good evening, council. I'm Tina French from North Lincoln Sanitary, Lexi Hall, North Lincoln Sanitary. And this is our annual, I know you've seen this a little more than normal with all the RMA stuff, but this is our annual rate review and as I like to call it, our state of the trash address. So I'm gonna zoom through this. I think everybody got their packet and I think most of you have seen it numerous times. So we are your garbage company and recycling company. We are third generation. Lexi and our son represent our third generation, and we will celebrate 60 years next year servicing Depoe Bay. So we're very excited about that. Depoe Bay represents about 7% of our residential customers and 10% of our commercial customers. And so we allocate all of our expenses based off of customer counts, disposal rates, and actual costs for your area. And something I want to bring up because it may come up when you look at our operating ratio for Depoe Bay. When we started doing this in '95, I believe, Depoe Bay is such a tiny little microclimate that we service. If we were to hold you on your own, your rates, little things can affect your rates a lot. And so at the time, we asked Lincoln County and the city of Depoe Bay, can we combine you? So whatever the county does, Depoe Bay does. So if the county gets a 5% increase, Depoe Bay gets a 5% increase. If the county stays flat, Depoe Bay stays flat. And it was a way to help you guys regulate your rates and not go up and down because fuel costs went up substantially. And, you know, $20,000 in expenses can really affect your rates one way or the other because it's such a small budget. I started keeping track of when, so the reports I give you are last year's actuals and then the budget and then
and then what Depot Bay's portion of that is compared to the entire company. And I started going back a couple of years ago and checking how close I came in the actuals to what I budgeted. And I'm not a finance guru, and so sometimes my budgeting is a challenge for us because you just have no idea what some things are gonna do. Legislatively can really affect us with regulations. And that was the case for a couple of things with us in '24. Revenue for Depot Bay was actually up quite a bit, but as a company, we were flat. And so that is what we budgeted, so we were excited about that. The labor is what snuck up on us in '24, and that was mostly because of paid family medical leave. And we were trying to decide how many people do we need to hire. We knew we had to hire at least one FTE to cover in case 2 route drivers wanted to be gone at the same time and somebody was on vacation, we still have to pick up the garbage. And so we added 1 FTE for that, and then just with wage pressures up, minimum wage went up again this year. We don't have any minimum wage workers, but minimum wage increases has an upward pressure on wages. And then operational expenses went up, and that wasn't too surprising to me. It's just really hard when you lump all those things together, and parts is probably the biggest one in operations that parts went up substantially and continue to rise. The tariffs so far haven't affected us too much, and that was a challenge for us budgeting this year. But I have to say that I am optimistic that so far they haven't done what everybody in the industry was talking about doing, so we'll see. Expense changes year over year. The biggest drivers in our expenses are wages, disposal costs, and insurance. Wages, we've kept pretty level. We had some larger increases after COVID, when wages just went crazy in every industry. We're really fortunate that our statewide association every other year does a wage and salary survey across the state, and then it's done by region, so we know what the average wages are. And then we keep track of the cities and the county's public works wages, because we don't wanna lose our employees to you guys. So, this year we're looking at a 2% increase in wages. CPI is looking like it's gonna be about 2.4, but we did a little bit larger one the last 2 years, so I felt pretty confident coming in. Disposal continues to go up. I do have great news. Were you on the follow the waste tour? So you got to visit the landfill, and the big news for the last 18 months has been that Coffin Butte landfill is gonna close. We just got news in the last 48 hours that they did get their expansion.
Oh, good.
So that is a huge relief. We had been in discussions with Waste Management, who purchased the Millersburg mill that sits right on I-5, which is a train reloading station. And we were looking at hauling train cars over to them, leaving them, and then they would haul them to Arlington. So I feel even more optimistic. Not only did we get the extended time, but when the time comes to close Coffin Butte, I feel like we have a pretty good answer for. It's still an increased expense, but not nearly as expensive as us having to haul all the way to Arlington. And insurance costs were flat this year, which we were really excited about. So that brings us to the proposed rate increase. We're proposing a 6% increase. You can see that that does not put Depot Bay in the range that we have in the ordinance. The range is 91 to 85% operating ratio with a target of 88. But Depot Bay is rarely in the range. And again, because it's such a tiny little service area, it doesn't raise my blood pressure when you're not in the range. So I think the rates are fair. I think that it's unfair to Depot Bay ratepayers to make them be in a range. And so if you are fine with it, that's what we are proposing, is that we're at a 94% operating ratio. And again, a drop box project in Depot Bay could completely change those numbers, because again, they're such small numbers that an additional $40,000 in revenue could swing that, so.
So what do you mean by the Dropbox?
So let's say that the North Point recited their building for the 17th time. Yeah.
That's so true.
That would be a lot of Dropbox revenue that comes into Depoe Bay that I don't have budgeted. And so that additional revenue could bump Depoe Bay's operating ratio from 94%, what I'm budgeting, to 88% or 85%. And we've never been above 88%, but it could easily bump us into the range. So that's why I don't get too excited when Depoe Bay is not in the range, because it could be something as simple as a siding job, or the new condos being built down the road. We haven't seen any business from that yet because they're not in that phase, but that could bring in some revenue that you just don't know. So the rate that most people have for residential is a 32-gallon roll cart. That rate will go from $37.83 a month to $40.10 a month. And that includes their garbage roll cart, their mixed recycle roll cart, and their mixed compost roll cart. I think everybody remembers that we can only charge for garbage. So all of the rates for recycling and compost are on the garbage can, because DEQ doesn't want to make it a disincentive not to recycle or compost. And then your average commercial customer is a 1.5 yard dumpster weekly, and that'll go from $136.70 to $144.90 a month. And then we offer curbside and carryout service. So carryout service is generally used by absentee owners, but a lot of people just, if their work schedule they don't want to have to remember to take their garbage out. So we do quarterly time and weight studies, and so we time how much longer it takes for us to walk in and carry out the cans, and so that's where the difference in that rate comes from, is strictly from a time standard. And I'm gonna turn it over to Lexi to talk about more exciting stuff. It is more fun. Way less fun to talk about money.
Okay, so we've got some numbers for you guys for the 2024 recycling participation levels. We did see a 2% decrease in total recycling, and that's over all 3 of our jurisdictions, so not just Depoe Bay. Mixed compost is also down about 4%, and we'd love to see both of those climb, but we do expect a larger change in the mixed recycling because of the Recycling Modernization Act, which we will talk a little bit more about in a couple slides. But the residential recycling rate is fantastic. It's actually the highest out of all our municipalities, so we really appreciate all Depoe Bay residents recycling. It helps us look really good as a city, but also as a company, so we appreciate that.
But
It's also
I can't read that, 4%.
Nope, the current residential recycling participation is at 85%. Recycling overall is down about 2%, but you guys, that's in tonnage, right? So that could be the difference of a few loads in December. It's really not that big of a number, so. Commercial and multifamily recycling is at 74%. This includes glass and cardboard. It's not just mixed recycling, so that does kind of skew the numbers a little bit in comparison to the residential. However, glass and cardboard are really what the commercial and multifamily areas are recycling the most. It's really hard to get them to recycle mixed recycling correctly because they really just use it as an overflow for their garbage. So we love seeing the glass and cardboard recycled. Mixed compost is not as heavily used as recycling, so you can see it's only at a 73% participation level. We would love to see that up in the 80s. I think one of the things that we're still really working on, and I think our customers are still confused about, is the fact that you can throw food waste in the mixed compost. It's not just yard debris. And so a lot of people, when we talk to them and they want to remove their cart, we ask why, and they say, oh, well, I don't have a backyard, or I don't mow, or I don't have any tree trimming, da-da-da. And we have to remind them over and over again, no, you can put food waste, which we know everybody has a lot of. It's one of the best ways to remove items from the landfill, because the landfill is all about compaction, and food waste does the opposite of that. It releases methane gas, it's worse for the environment, and so if you can get it in compost and be reused for a good thing, that's always best case scenario. Moving on to our commercial compost pilot program. So House Bill 3018 did not pass in the long session this year, but we do expect it to come back You might be asking what that is. It is, I'm gonna read this, and I quote, requires entities that cook, assemble, process, serve, or sell food to recover and dispose of food waste as specified in the Act. And so essentially what it's looking to do is add a requirement that any business that has over 500 pounds of food waste, which is any business, any restaurant selling food, they are going to have to be required to have mixed compost offered to them. They don't have to have it, just like they don't have to have recycling, but it has to be offered. Where this will impact everybody is in the rates, because commercial compost is much more expensive due to the contamination levels. And so our rate would be about double of what we're currently paying for residential mixed compost at Pacific Region Compost in Corvallis, which we heard. The reality is it hasn't passed yet, but everything I've heard from anybody close to it, it's gonna pass in the short session. So this will be something that we're probably gonna be coming to you next year and having a pretty honest discussion about what that's gonna do to rates. Good news is, in the pilot programs that we've done, because we kind of knew this was going this direction, the Pelican, Salishan, and the hospital have been doing a fantastic job. They don't have any contamination. So we have hope that the people that wanna do it right will. Okay,
So related to that, today the composting is done just as regular garbage then, right? For the restaurants, they're just throwing it in with regular garbage.
oh yeah,
We don't have a commercial program, just a residential program.
good question. Recycling,
Excuse me,
yeah.
when you do have the commercial program, why would it affect everybody's rate? Why wouldn't the commercial pay more for their trash?
we can't separate the food waste from commercial to residential, so our rate for composting would go up. Tina can speak more towards
So Pacific Region Compost says if you have a commercial program, here's your rate. They don't say we're gonna charge you this much for your residential compost and this much for your commercial compost. If you collect commercial compost, it is a different rate.
But you, I think you said that there's so much contamination in the commercial, right? So why wouldn't, and you can't charge us or the people separate for compost and trash, right?
Well, right, except their rate goes up for their
Right.
garbage.
So why wouldn't the commercial trash rate be higher proportionally to take into account?
So that is something that when we are ready to do this, you, and I'll work with you, you can set the rates however you like to. You can have commercial subsidized residential, you can, you can do it any which way. And we did that to some extent when we put in recycling. We shifted some of the cost of the recycling to a little heavier on the commercial side to make it a little more affordable for the residential. So when it's that time and we know what the disposal rate's gonna be, we can discuss how we want to structure the rate for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and something to keep in mind with Depoe Bay is that I think on the first slide, you guys have exactly 100 commercial customers and 573 residential. And so the burden on your commercial would be pretty heavy if you're subsidizing it too far, just because they are such a large part. They're about 10% of your.
And it would affect the rate in effect, no different than disposal affects the rate, right? So if disposal goes up, it is spread across the board. So it would be no different. We look at tipping fees for compost and recycling similar that we do to disposal of. You know how much the average recyclable cart weighs for commercial and residential, and we try to disperse those expenses appropriately in the disposal portion of the rate.
Okay, Recycling Modernization Act. So I really appreciate Kimberly working with me so closely to get this across the finish line. But how the Recycling Modernization Act is going to affect you specifically in Depoe Bay is different than pretty much every other city. They're all gonna have their own places. And so how it will work, and that this slide kind of shows you a little bit, but I know it's small. So producers of products like Amazon, Johnson & Johnson, anybody that is creating a product that is sold in Oregon, so it's out of state and in state, they're going to start paying into the system based on commodity risk fees, which is a fancy term for essentially how much stuff they're able to make recyclable. When they do that, they're going to pay into a producer responsibility organization, and that is almost like an escrow account, if you know real estate. And they are a nonpartisan, third party who's going to disperse those funds to local governments for recycling programs to make sure that our recycling system is staying intact and making sense for Oregon. And so, the good news is we are getting some money, and we're pretty excited about that, because to be honest, for a while there, I didn't know what we would see. The three things that we are hoping for are the contamination reduction funding, which is based on a per capita number. So I think for Depoe, you guys are at around 1,500 in your population, and it's $3 per capita. So you do the math, and we can see that what we'll do next year is under our recycling costs, we will be putting and not $30,000 number, it was for Lincoln City just as a placeholder, but you'll be able to see how the funding from the RMA is affecting the costs that we have for recycling. So it's not that it will necessarily help with a potential rate rollback or a reduction, it's more of an offset of expenses that we've never had before, so it's pretty exciting. The other one is a glass incentive. That one is just a flat $77 per ton. We haul about 1,200 tons of glass a month, and so that includes the one from Depoe and also commercial glass pickup. And so that'll be honestly not 1,200 tons. We haul whatever 77 times the tonnage is $1,200 a month. So we're gonna see that number across all our jurisdictions. So the last one is for transportation, and that one will be a negotiated rate for every mile that we travel over 50 miles. So to the MRF that we went and visited, we will get paid because we're having to travel a longer distance than those that are closer to the facilities. All that said, we're still in negotiations. We actually, I think, just heard back about transportation, so we're hoping to get that one dialed in. But I
This
think
all went live July 1st.
Yep,
So,
it's very new.
it's, yeah.
We're still working through. And it was fun. We were actually the first glass incentive addendum in the state to be signed. So
Oh, wow.
I know, pretty fun. The biggest change I think the public will see, and this is where we are going to be advertising quite a bit, is the change to the recycling list. So they're adding plastic tubs, so like your yogurt tubs are a good example. They're adding cartons, so your milk cartons, anything with waxy paper like coconut milk, I know comes in that too. And they're also allowing larger pieces of scrap metal. So anything under 18 inches and less than 10 pounds is now going to be accepted, like a pot. Previously you would have had brought that to us to the recycling center or the Schooner Creek transfer station, and now you can put it in your mixed recycling roll cart, which is great. We are trying our best to get the info out. It will go live in everybody's billing, PDFs if that's how you receive it, paperless, or it'll be in a paper, it's essentially just a one pager of what is new and recyclable. It's live on our website already, and then I've tried to post it on social media, but we'll continue doing a big push, because, you know, there's lots of ways that people need to see things.
I'm sorry, what about lids and caps?
Great question. So for the tub lids, it's made out of a different plastic. Essentially what we're collecting now is number 5 plastics in addition to the 1 and 2 that we used to. And it's polypropylene, I believe, that they found a market for. And the 1 and 2 is HDPE and PET, and those have almost always had a market in the US. But the
Like bottle caps and stuff, the reason that we don't recycle those is because they fall through the screens.
Right.
If they are on the bottle, they get recycled.
So now if you can keep those screwed on, and Bottleville, they just came out with ERC, they said that they will also start taking caps on bottles if they're screwed on.
So yeah,
So-
like Autumn's cap.
Yeah, that would be fine.
That, if you left it on there, it would be fine. Now, even in the bottle bill, if that's I don't know if that's.
Yeah, that is
returnable or not.
returnable.
But if it wasn't a returnable, you could leave that cap on and put it in your mixed recycling as well.
And the lids for.
The lids are not,
Okay.
so
So
Because
like
that's
how
gonna
you
be hard
choose.
to.
yeah, we know.
It might be better to tell people no lids.
easier to.
The thing about it is that we are not going to contaminate a customer for putting a lid in there. It's just that there's no market for it, so it is not going to make it to market, and we don't like to tell people to put something in their go cart that we know is not gonna be recycled, but if it's in there, it's not like when you were putting yogurt tubs in there and we said you can't do that. If the lid is in there, it's just not going to go to market.
Another big plastic item are plastic buckets and plastic storage, totes, which are tough because it's gonna fill your cart real quick, and so that's something that I guess we're just gonna have to kind of wait and see how we wanna handle that. But those are the biggest changes to the public, and then just so that you know, I think the pushback that we've received in the past for recycling is it's just all being thrown away. And the reality is that in 2018, when China National Sword happened and we realized that stuff was being thrown away and China did not want our material anymore, Oregon got together and said, we're not doing this, and decided to create this new system. And so on the basis of all of this is the fact that material processing facilities can no longer go to markets or send materials to markets that are not responsible at markets. So they have to self-attest, tell DEQ where they're sending the items, what they're being made into, where they're going. It's more detail than anybody in the entire US is doing. We are definitely at the forefront of this. We're the guinea pigs for the first time. So I think the exciting thing for the public is that you can know that if you recycle correctly, it 100% is staying in the US and is being made into a new material.
Wow.
So it's a really big deal, really big deal. Any other questions about that? Yes.
What about the clear containers that produce comes in, like strawberry?
No clamshells. They are made out of a really crappy plastic that is a one and done.
They're like an end of life plastic that once you heat it up again, it is not usable. There may become a time when we start doing molecular recycling and breaking plastics down molecularly.
Right now, Oregon completely vehemently disagrees with chemical recycling because it's not done ethically, so.
About batteries.
Please don't put them in your roll carts.
We do take them.
Yeah, we take them at our recycling center and we take them for free and they are not free to us. We subsidize it because it is so dangerous for our carts.
We just had another fire today.
Yeah.
One of our trucks.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we were close to the transfer station and able to get
It was
load
JJ,
on
wasn't
before,
it?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
our
it was
son.
my brother.
Oh,
But
oh my goodness.
yeah, it's just becoming it used to happen once every 5 or 10
Oh,
years,
yeah.
and now it's almost
You have to realize
Because
how
of
many
the batteries?
because of batteries.
But you have to realize how many things that you own now have lithium-ion batteries. I know airports have been doing a huge push because they ask people, oh, do you have a lithium-ion battery in your bag? And they say no. Well, guess what? An AirTag has a lithium-ion battery. And so-
every piece of luggage almost.
Yeah, and so people don't realize the greeting cards that sing to you, that tiny, tiny little battery, that's a lithium-ion battery and it will catch on fire.
I did not know that.
Yep, there you go.
Now
That's what
I
I'm
do.
saying is
Anything that lights up, that sings to you, that
your
it-
toothbrush, your solitary toothbrush.
And it's
or-
the embedded batteries that is really frustrating because we had legislation in this go around to have a producer responsibility for batteries, but they were excluding embedded batteries. And
because of lobbyists.
because of the lobbyists. And so I called Sonicare and said, how do I get this battery out of my toothbrush so I can recycle the battery? And they said, take a hammer to it. Their customer service on the line told me to take a hammer to a lithium ion battery.
Oh my god.
Which
And
if you
so-
didn't know, they explode if you're
Yeah,
taking
don't
it
ever
to
do
the
that. But so it's a huge problem. And more products every day are being manufactured with lithium ion batteries in it.
It's
So-
the number one for the short session. It is our number one priority for the Association of Oregon Recyclers and also the Oregon Rock Basin Recycling Association that we're on the board for to get that passed, so, yes.
So the idea of people going to the transfer station, get rid of their batteries, it's just, you understand why people throw them away.
Oh, sure.
They used to have, and I don't know if they still do, like Newport Public Library.
Right.
Had battery containers.
It's unsafe.
But it's unsafe, but, it's more unsafe to have them crushed in your
Yeah,
garbage. I'm wondering if like little, metal buckets
Yeah.
that could be provided to people, because that would be,
No,
I would
ideally you
cheap
want, I mean,
compared-
recycling has to be easy and convenient,
Yes.
right?
And
And
it's not
so,
right now.
I mean, our recycling center is fairly convenient for Lincoln City people, but not Depoe Bay people. And so if we ever wanted to talk about something here, we would be, very amicable to that
Yeah.
idea.
I think, yeah, we would be really open to that, but also there's a possibility that we, in the future, could receive some sort of RMA funding or a grant or some sort of process to look at adding something to the curb, like a Recycle Plus system or a way for the dangerous items that we need to keep out of the carts to be added as a curbside service for those that aren't able to make it to the
Vancouver,
recycling.
Canada just did a pilot program for the last 4 months, and they literally just had people put a Ziploc on top of their recyclable cart. I mean, it's really simple, but they collected
Oh gosh.
thousands of tons of batteries. And so just keeping those out of the waste stream that way, you know, I don't know what their permanent program is gonna be, but I think they were just seeing how it would work. But it could be something as simple as that in the future. But in the meantime, until we figure out what the legislation is gonna be for the state, I think we should look at a Depoe type system that we could work with you guys
I
to.
totally wanna talk to you about that, cause I hate not knowing what to do with my batteries.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that idea.
Yeah, let's
It'd
figure
be
something
great to be having.
I'm sure there's some sort of fireproof vessel that we
Yeah.
could store it in, and just service it even, you know, weekly if we had to, once a month.
Yeah, absolutely, we can, let's talk,
Okay.
because that would be great.
So I
Great
have
idea.
a couple quick questions. I think I read something about having some kind of a liquid fluid, bring it in, we'll get rid of it.
Oh, yeah,
HHW.
Household hazardous waste.
Okay.
Yeah, so that event is on the 27th, I believe, Saturday,
Which next?
26th of this month. And yeah, anybody can come to the office, so the recycling center.
Right.
It's free of charge to drop off any
10 to 2.
sort of household waste from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Any what, like
Any household waste, so
No,
hazardous
hazardous.
waste, or hazardous waste, sorry,
hazard, like, you know.
household hazardous waste.
Fluids and.
Yeah, so pesticides, fertilizers,
Is
cleansers,
there like a list of?
solvents,
somewhere?
yes, on our website.
Yeah, there's
So
on
we
our
should probably
website.
So how do we,
Facebook.
how do we
Love that.
bring them in? How, can I bring a plastic tote?
Yeah. Yeah, so when you pull up, you can lock your truck and they take it out for you, you don't even get out of your
I have a
car.
whole shed.
We
Yeah.
can,
If
The
they
label-
bring it,
The
yeah.
label
we
should
take it all
stay
down.
on.
They need to
Yeah,
know what it
you
is.
know what it is.
Like if you have a jar of mercury in your grandpa's basement,
Yeah, and then the other thing I have is fish carcass disposal.
Oh,
I
Do
don't
you
want
have
that.
any inspiration?
You really don't.
We have a fish carcass issue disposal issue, right?
I mean, we're disposing of, I don't think we have a
No, we just have
disposal
so
issue.
much of it, it's.
It's just awful.
we just have
It's-
Oh, yeah.
We just have the smell, but.
So did the stuff that Paul got not work?
The
The
dumpster breath,
enzyme, we're trying some new stuff, we just got the.
It just doesn't, it's not going to be a solve all, there will still be
Yeah.
occasionally smells, I mean, unless
smell.
you're on it
I
constantly.
mean, we dump it, I believe, twice a week.
see, that's my question,
Yeah, I
do we
think
need to
we're
go
gonna,
more
we're 3
frequent?
times,
We're at 3 times.
I think
Three
we're trying
times
to.
a week,
and we're trying this new
drive down
product.
there.
Oh, no,
Oh,
I have been
no.
on the route.
We smell it.
So you
Trust us,
know,
we have to send a special truck, cause it has to be their last
Right.
stop, because we can't go to anybody else's business
And the
or
whole
home.
transfer station smells.
And then it has
entire-
to, yeah,
So
and then
there's-
we have to get that truck
You don't wanna
out.
drop the disgusting creatures all over the city.
Yeah, and he drives, it's funny, the tourists just stay away, he's just driving down the highways, just clears it out.
It's
But-
bad.
No, I mean, yeah, it's,
We're happy to go more than 3 times a week, I mean, we can make things work.
Well, certainly after the weekend.
yeah, I believe it's
Tuna
done.
season
Monday,
in
Wednesday,
'94,
Friday.
we've done 4 during tuna.
so we can
Yeah.
change the.
Yeah, oh,
frequency.
absolutely, and I don't know if it's Brady.
Yeah, Greg Paul.
Pretty good,
Yeah.
Dave, he's our new market master.
Oh.
I think we need to change the regulations and not allow them to
To dump it.
clean their fish over here.
Well, there's, I asked about that.
Where would they go?
Where would they
They
go?
take them home and do them at home like
Brady can
everybody
tell you
else
what
does.
they would
But if
do.
you're staying in a hotel or something, what do you do with the fish?
That's not who these people are.
Oh,
They're charter people who are going out with their 6-pack and they're
Yeah.
fishing all day and
oh, so
Clean
this
them and
isn't the
taking-
charter boats?
No,
It's
the
not
charter
our-
guys,
it's not the
you
ones
can
that are-
tell,
Their,
you know what
guide
they,
service.
yeah.
No, it's guide service.
The
Oh,
charter
right.
guys
Guide
load up
services,
their
the
carcasses in big barrels at the end of the day, you can tell because the seagulls.
Seagulls,
Yeah.
There's huge flocks of seagulls that follow the boats
Yeah.
out there, and then they take them way out.
That's wonderful,
So-
because that's where it should go.
It's not in the boat.
They do that. So when we had it closed for a while, they were taking them, you know, sort of COVID, they were taking the, just dumping them on the truck roads. Or just where they could pull on the
Oh,
highway.
yeah, you don't want that. I
Yeah,
know.
you told me that they dumped them up on Highway 101.
What if you paid your charter people to haul?
See, I
That
think,
stuff
I think
out.
we should look at how much money we spend.
I mean, not that I want to lose the business, but I would
No, I know,
much
I
rather
know.
see fish carcasses go back in the ocean than in the landfill.
Yeah, that's where they.
Yeah, we've looked into that, had a carcass crew that would have to haul the
It
carcasses
was
to
like
the docks and load
$7,000 a
them.
month, wasn't it?
Oh,
Wasn't it like $7,000 a month for
No,
just the
I guess.
fish carcass
oh, I
disposal?
don't think it's that.
Oh,
No,
You know, several thousand, yes.
it's several thousand, so some guy in a boat might like.
They're so
Different
tired at
discussion.
the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it could be a contract with somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, do we have any more questions? I have a few
Just
more
a
things.
comment about-
It's like talking trash.
Vacation rentals.
yes,
It's a real challenge for those of us that do vacation rentals with recycle. Only because
We know.
we're not gonna ask our housekeeping staff or our maintenance team to go in and dig out of somebody's garbage, the things that are non-compliant. So I would say that in 95% of the cases, we've had the recycle bin removed.
Yeah.
Which upsets a lot of our customers. And so I'm looking to you guys to help us figure out how can we keep our recycle bins for those that want them, but not have to get the letters from you that say,
Sure.
it's contaminated,
So
we're
that
gonna take them away.
we've had property management companies that would put in the effort on the house side that I have no control over. Very few management companies want to put in that effort, but if you can have something in the home that source separates the recycling, so a bin for bottles, a bin for, you know, cardboard and newspaper and tin cans, and keep it separate so that your housekeeping staff can just empty those into the recyclable cart themselves, and the customer, client, visitor never touches the recyclable cart.
Yeah, we can track that.
That's been the most successful thing, similar to what we did at Little Whale Cove, because they lost their recycling, even though most of them are residences. But when we went to source separated totes there, we haven't had hardly any problems. But and I think the new USCL will help, of people, you know, from other areas that think something's recyclable that's not. But if they're just blatantly, you know, here's the problem, you're on vacation and rain comes out and fun goes in, and whatever hand you put your hand on first to throw your McDonald's bag in, that's where it's going. And so for the people that really want recycling at their vacation rental, I tell them, lock your recyclable cart up, keep it in the house, and have your housekeeping staff put it in the recyclable cart.
Not gonna happen. So that means you have to sort through some
Anybody else have
garbage,
any-
it's just not.
Generally, if there's totes in there, you know, just like hotel rooms, that,
5 gallon bucket.
yeah,
I get it.
Great. Have anything else?
I think that's it.
Cool. Thank you
Yeah.
guys, we always love talking trash.
And we will circle back with Kimberly on the battery. Great.
Thank you.
Yes, I was just gonna say, I wanted to brainstorm ways to get the compost rate up, you know, maybe people have little bins in their kitchen for their food
Yeah.
scraps, some of their encouraging it to.
So Lincoln has these little plastic things.
We handed out hundreds of them,
Oh, really?
when we started the program. We did little trivia things and asked people, you know, what goes in your recyclable cart, and they would win them. And then we ended up with a lot of them, and we just gave the rest of them away. We don't have a huge request for them,
But I
but
think people don't realize that they even are
Why don't
supposed to
you
in it.
bring them to National Night Out?
oh, yeah.
I'm putting you guys closer inward.
Oh, good, our drivers will be so happy, they were
Yes.
so
They
bummed last
seem to
year.
have so much fun, so I'm bringing you closer inward. That would maybe be a great time to have some
Yeah.
information about that.
Yeah.
It's a big change for people, and so it's going to be a slow roll, but it'll happen, and it will just be like recycling, where, you know, somebody now, if they have a recyclable in their hand, they don't think it's throwing it in the trash anymore. And compost will be the same thing in a few years, but we have to keep at it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie, thank you.
Have a great night.
Next, we're gonna have our commission and committee, group reports. First up is emergency preparedness, and she told me Joyce is not here tonight. Anybody from Energy Advisory want to report in on the committee? No?
As a separate group, I'm not.
Oh, you're not. Harbor Commission,
Nothing new.
planning, no parks, and salmon enhancement. Vaughn, did you want to report anything on salmon enhancement? You want to give us a update on the fin clipping?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for confirming. Yep. So last weekend we clipped the fins of 13,142 coho salmon. Thanks to thanks to
Wow.
thank you. Yeah. Thanks to approximately between 35 and 50 volunteers. We had 35 people on the sign-in list, but we know that some people didn't do that. So it was really nice to see the community out rallying around a common resource and common interest, and we really appreciate the city's support for it.
Oh, and I got to see my first salmon fin clipping, and I didn't want to clip because I'm terrified of breaking the babies. But I did put my hand in one of the buckets after they pulled them out of the fish pen. That was so much fun. It was so much fun to watch that and to look at the bits. So many babies, so good. Wasn't 13,000 more than last year, which I would want to say was around 12?
You're not going to be able to quote me on that one, but 13,000 is a pretty standard number for us. So feel good about that.
I'm gonna I got some great pictures from the event, including them going down the little funnel into the reservoir with some fish coming out there, and the little kids were just having a blast.
Thanks, Vaughn.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Of Vaughn? Yeah. Vaughn, what's the status of the, mud and nets on the bottom?
Of the bottom of the reservoir or the bottom of the net pen? What are you?
Bottom of the reservoir? Weren't the mud pens sitting on the mud?
That's when we lost Rocky Creek, but it's since filled.
Oh, it has, okay, never mind, thank you, Vaughn. Sorry.
Anything else, Vaughn?
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
If we have a Harbor question, but he's not coming up, can we still ask a Harbor question?
Of Vaughn?
No.
Of Jack?
He should come up though.
Yeah.
You should come up, Jack.
Question. There is a
Councilman
question.
Sella wants to ask you a question.
Okay,
Yeah,
I heard that, but I wasn't sure if it had something to do with something on the agenda.
No idea.
Nothing on the agenda,
Okay,
but I'm curious where we stand after the joint meeting that we had with the Harbor Commission on pursuing the fee structure. Is the harbor come up with anything? Is it the council that's coming up with it? Who's the user fee?
Oh, that's kind of sort of on for us to talk about later in regards to setting up a work session to find out what you guys want to do. I have a draft ordinance.
I didn't see that in our.
It's the scheduled work session to discuss this and other things.
Okay.
Oh.
Is the harbor gonna be involved in that, or is it just the council work session?
The harbor is just the council work session, but you guys are the ones that decide on the harbor user fee.
Sure, okay. That was my question.
I mean,
Where did
certainly
we,
make it
where
a joint,
did
but
we land there?
the other things will be more than just the other work session will be more than just harbor stuff. It won't just be harbor stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Good job.
Next up, we have public comment. This is for anything that's not on the agenda tonight. Any public comment? All right, moving along, unfinished business. We have the Cook Avenue discussion. Is there anyone here that wants to talk about that? Kimberly, how do we want to introduce that?
So I'm assuming that you guys have all read the 2.5-page staff report, which is my way to encapsulate what has been happening, not to every degree, but the important things is, and then the council needs to decide what the next steps are if you really want to enforce the abatement. So you have an abatement order, but as I noted, the abatement order is only to clean out the right of way, which at that time was the council's biggest concern, so we can get in there and do the work for water and wastewater, whatever we need to do there, resurface the road, et cetera. Despite that, the homeowner has been making, you can see the reports, and these are directly from the North Lincoln Sanitary District, Dayton. He has been a blessing. Paul Seitz has been a miracle worker to be able to get this much, including Paul Carter, who has also helped out with, in fact, I think he went out and helped her get into a van and get it cleaned out. So she has been making a lot of efforts. It was interesting to find out that 45 AI told me this, 45 yards were the equivalent of 225 of the black garbage cans. And if you think kitchen tall size, 698. That doesn't include all of the debris, the bulky items, they didn't list all the specific bulky items. The best thing about this is not only has she been making some great headways, it hasn't cost the city a dime. That's been a pretty big deal. So the county, because of their program, including the RV program, was able to pay for what equivalents to over $12,000. Plus, Paul told me that they got approved, we have another RV voucher, he thinks he can get us to have that again. Plus, we have more Dropbox money, which is the containers for her to go out there and continue to do this. I had conversations with her, but Paul Seitz has been the primary communicator because she really likes him. So she's real good at talking with him and real easy at talking with him. She has told me how much she wants to clean the place up for her family. She has told him she's very committed to getting another RV out, maybe looks like 2 by September. The one thing that I was impressed about her is that one of our RVs contained some really personal stuff of a deceased parent, and she didn't want to let it go until she had gone through. Well, she did let it go. So she has made some great efforts. However, the council does have an order that you have a couple options. You can have me immediately, because we gave her to the end of June, you can have me immediately issue the final notice of compliance, give her 10 days notice, and then we would go and hire a contractor to clean up the right of way. Then we would bill the property owner, she probably will not pay, so that it will end up going a lien on the property. So we'll have to pay for that. You know, we'll have to pay for whatever it's gonna cost to get the attorney involved to do the lien and all of this other stuff. We're going to need to have a sheriff's deputy present because of the long history of threats. Whether or not anybody actually believes she will carry through with them, that's not the point. The point is the threats have been made, and we need to make sure that we have somebody there. I spoke to Lincoln County Sheriff's Office to find out if that's a possibility, because they often have concerns about that, and they will make somebody available. That's the one option. I know, pardon me, Chair.
Can I wait until she finishes her? Yeah.
Okay. Your second choice, there may be other choices, these are just the ones that I can see. The second is to delay abatement to August 31st. We would issue a notice saying, look, you know, we've been really patient. We're gonna give you through the summer, through the dry months, to get the right of way cleaned off. The specific right of way, say this is what you have to have cleaned off, and I can have either Paul Seitz or our Paul, who she also likes, walk with her down there and show it. And say, you have to have this item off, or we will hire someone. We'll still have to go through the same process as number one, it just will be delayed a month and a half more. The third, okay, so that's the two with this right of way abatement. Okay, that's your decision on that, unless there's another option. Then the third thing that we have to talk about is the fact that when we did the stuff back in early 2022, whatever, even though we kind of sort of declared the property itself a nuisance, we didn't order an abatement on that. So we would have to go through the process of doing that, once the right of way was cleaned and have a public hearing and go through the whole process of actually declaring the rest of the property a nuisance and then start all over. Again, but maybe on a shorter timeframe because she is doing so much, so. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at on that.
Any questions of Kim? Did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. So, I was looking at, number 2, but it seems that August 31st is coming right up, and then we'd have to come back. I was thinking of extending that, through September, 30th. It just seems like she's doing a lot of progress. I don't want to have to get an attorney involved at this point. I'm very impressed with the amount that Paul and Paul have been able to accomplish, and thank you too. Yeah, so I'm thinking that, the second option would be, just with an extended date may work for us, so we don't have to keep extending it again, and, communicate that to her.
I'd be okay with that.
Before you do that, I don't know if we have some residents on the street that might want to
Do
speak.
we have, did you guys wanna address this?
Yes, please.
You do have to come up and sign in, please.
We don't like to.
You can bring another chair up if you want.
Yeah, bring another chair. Yeah, just print, whoever's speaking, just print your name and I know you live in Depoe, right, so.
And my name is Daniel Bates. I live on Cook Avenue, across the street, over 1 from the property in question. I can't do 2 things at once.
Not
Reason I'm here is, I see what's going on. It's literally out my front window. The first person that brought this up was in 2018. My next door neighbor brought it up to the city council. Nothing was done. I sent a letter in 2022 with a complaint listing all of the ordinances that's being violated. It's the first time we started to actually see some action. So our frustration level was already kind of high. All I've been getting is extensions on deadlines, extensions on deadlines, extensions on deadlines, even after city council has said they're not going to give her an extension on the deadline. So it's starting to get, it's not a happy place to be on our street because of that property, because of her behavior. A multitude of things, not just the abatement, not just the mess, not just the wildlife that is constantly coming into our yards, animals that she has that are coming into our yards and attacking people. Sorry, I'm not a very good public speaker.
No, that's.
So that's kind of where I wanted to come in, is I see what's going on. That list of kind of yards that you have on the thing, she's bringing carloads in and dumping it into the dumpster. So it's not all from the property, it's also from other locations. I've seen her bring in a neighbor, she allowed a neighbor to use the dumpster. She had a car show up twice that unloaded, that was not her or one of the properties that unloaded into the dumpster. So it's the numbers are misleading because it's not getting the full picture. So that's kind of what I wanted to address.
Does it look any better to you?
So when we moved in, there were numerous cars on the street and that got taken care of and I'm incredibly grateful for
When did
that.
you move in?
We moved in 2021. And our property was also a disaster and we worked really hard to get it cleaned up. The cars were taken care of and I'm grateful for that. An RV was pulled off of the property, but in place of the RV, now there's a giant pile of more garbage, or as she put it, crap, on the street covered with a tarp. That's taking the place of the RV. So it's, yeah, she's doing stuff, but mostly what she's doing is moving. So it's I'm not, and maybe because I'm so close to it, I'm not seeing it as much. But I've had her. I have issues with her. I had the sheriff's deputy come and do a wellness check on me because she was threatening to kill me on the street. So, we have issues. She's not my favorite person and I'm not hers. No, that's, I think that's pretty much what I want to talk about.
Did you want to say anything?
I think it's covered.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We appreciate your view.
Can we open for discussion or do we need a motion?
Do we need to have a motion before we go to discussion, or can we?
No,
Can we, I think we need to discuss it, because I have some distinct thoughts, what's.
I'll make the motion, if you wanna make the motion, I'll do that and then we can
Okay,
discuss.
let's do it kosher, so motion and a second and then discussion.
Okay, I move that we direct staff to immediately do the abatement, to 35 Cook Avenue and seek assistance of Lincoln County Sheriff's Office on the date of the abatement.
Okay, do we have a second for that?
I'll second.
All in favor? Oh, no, let's do discussion
Discussion.
now, that's why we have this comment.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
the first thing that I would like to say is, this is a kick the can down the road kind of a thing. And we need to draw the line in the sand and we need to say, you know what, the right of way has to be cleared. And if we go in and we do the abatement on the right of way, maybe the message will be sent to her that the property is next. And so you need to do something to clean this property up because it is a public nuisance. And so we've given her time, and whether she's made effort or not, I mean, I heard what these gentlemen said and I see the numbers here and I get it. And I just think we drew the line in the sand and we said, this is the date. And I think we as a city council need to stand by the date and we just need to get the abatement done on the right of way.
I totally agree.
I totally agree.
It's been extended for so long.
It's been going on, I've been here since 2000, and it's been going on for way over 10 years.
Enough's enough, you gotta.
No, we cannot keep extending the deadline. The deadline, she's had multiple deadline extensions, a ton of help, thousands of dollars of free garbage hauling. I mean, no, we've gotta get the right of way cleared up. It's been on our budget, it's been on our schedule to pave Cook Avenue. I'm sure the people that live on
it
Cook.
hasn't been on our budget or our schedule.
Not our schedule, but it's been,
radar.
it's been on the radar, and it is budgeted to pave Cook Avenue. We can't pave it until we can get to the right of way. So I completely agree. So we have first, we have a second. All in favor of Councilor Lasala's motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, did we get that okay? So.
Do people know what abatement looks like though? That means we're gonna have to contract with somebody to do all this work, and we're gonna have the sheriff's time and energy and presence during this process, and then we're gonna have to lien the property for the cost, which will be a lawyer's time. So, I mean, you already passed the motion, but I'm not sure that the implications to the city were clear.
And staff time, and I don't even know if I would be able to find somebody who knows her and her threats to be willing to go on their deputy or not. So we're gonna try to find somebody. But crew's not doing it, our crew's not doing it, I'm not putting them at risk, and I really don't wanna put anybody at risk, but whatever the council wishes, I will go through, but it will cost us several $1,000s more to do.
The council's already voted on the next.
So but that's fine.
Yeah.
The realities are this will cost us several thousand more to do, so.
I think that's been her tactic though, to threaten and
Yeah,
intimidate and scare us for a long time. But I also think there's some serious mental health issues going on, so
Very
it
much
should be
so.
taken very seriously, yeah.
And no staff goes there without Casey or somebody.
No, once I send this out, staff will be staying well aware from that area.
Yeah, if you, as a homeowner. In good conscience, actually threaten someone with violence.
Right.
That's crossing the line.
Absolutely,
and she has to be held accountable.
absolutely.
And these folks have contributed to that many, many years. I mean, we're sharp with no teeth if we don't bite into this right now, we gotta fix this. That's it.
Somebody would have to enforce the threats, and she's been doing this for 20 years, threatening people, and the sheriff's department have not taken it seriously to the point, actually, after she did arrest her, she died.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's back out, and they are right, they all, they're not the only ones who get threatened, she puts on stats as they drive by. There is a real risk here that I just think everybody needs to be aware of. And I also feel like there's a real risk for the neighborhood as well. So, but I will do whatever the council wishes to do.
Next up, new business, slip reassignment. Who are we gonna have, do we need to even?
I wrote it in the
Talk about
staff
that.
report. Dave is here as the harbor master in case there are any questions related to the process. It's not a discussion because he's the harbor master. The ordinance says he can make the slip assignments. At the last meeting, I understood that the council wanted to see what the process would be, so this is the process. We'll open the window as tomorrow or Thursday when he's back. Close on July 31st. We'll email notice to all mortgage holders and post in the post office. He'll hang in, or the harbor office, he'll hang, once the window closes, he'll take all of the requests that he's gotten and he will look at the wait list and sit down and based on the following, make a determination based on what's best for the harbor.
Let's go with Councilman Sell.
Yeah, I just had one question, at our last council meeting, the question of where does the wait list fit in to the priority came up, and I just didn't see it listed here as to where and how the waitlisters are gonna be treated in relation to all the rest of them.
What he will plan to do, and we talked about the wait list is mentioned here, what they plan to do is they plan to, I think, I lost my page, sorry.
33.
So number 3, once the window closes, the harbor master will review the open slips. There have been, and might be more relinquished by then, there have been 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
Against the wait list and new requests and reassigned boats based on the following. Disabled boat owners take priority, and he's had for dock 2. Boat relatives, or boat size relative to size of open slips. In other words, what's available, what boat wants to go where, can we move off the wait list? And reason for the request. This is a safety issue or concern because Joe wants to be next to Bill, and I don't mean you two.
What I don't understand,
So
go ahead, Bill.
the question still remains, where do the waitlist people fit in?
Would you explain?
So if I'm on the wait list and I need a disabled boat slip, am I put in front of somebody that's in the harbor, already a mortgage holder? Because now there's a request on the wait list for somebody with a disabled slip.
Oh, absolutely, disabled always takes precedence, but I've asked the harbor master to pull people off the wait list to the greatest extent he can. So that they are taking priority, but if somebody needs to move from dock 1 to dock 2 because of a disability, that might be something where we consider the current mortgage holder against the wait list. But I think you've already addressed all those issues.
Yeah, that's
So-
essentially what I've done, is taken the people who have already asked for the previous slip change, who had disabilities and they showed me their handicap placards, we have those on file, they were moved first. Now, I don't have any more open spaces on 2, but if I got 3 or 4 guys who are already there who are disabled, do need that, then I kind of weigh that out based on, if I've got open slips and this boat's gonna fit better over here, and I can put a disabled person on dock 2, then that's how that decision will have to be made. But based on who's on the list, what open spaces I have for what category size of boat, who's already in there that needs to move for, first of all, overall their safety and the boat safety, but also our docks. And I have to weigh all 3 of them out at the same time. I can't just pick, already annual mortgage holders, move them with priority. If I can take people off the list, that is better than to suit that spot, or to be a safer situation to do. And people who wanna move just because they wanna be closer to their friends are at the complete bottom of the list of priority, because I've got other concerns, and The one concern that's across the board is everybody doesn't like the wind, but that's just something we're gonna have to deal with, so. I can't move every boat based on that, otherwise we'd have no boats throughout the whole dock.
So are there existing open slots now that you have not given to a waitlisted person?
Yes, yeah, at this point, we've gotten some spots that have opened up, and we're actually waiting till the end of this month to start looking at how we're gonna move everything around, so.
I think the deadline for, pardon, Council, I think the deadline for payment is the 20th.
The 20th,
Yeah.
without everything.
So what's happening is he already assigned folks for the wait list. What's happening now is these are the relinquished. And traditionally, what happens when somebody relinquishes a spot, they go to the wait list. And so this kind of throws a new wrinkle in it because now we're gonna open it up, but he's still gotta consider what's best for the harbor.
Why would, if they relinquish, why would they go on a wait list?
They wouldn't go, but you'd pull from the wait list.
No, I would go to the wait list, so to speak.
So, I guess what I'm not understanding is if somebody hasn't been assigned to a slot yet, and you're gonna wait to the end of the month, then those waitlisted people who just newly get a spot don't have an opportunity to ask for a change in slip if it doesn't work for them or handicapped or anything like that.
Right, but that's kind of where we have to look at also, just because they're on the wait list for this size of vessel,
Yeah,
might not be able to safely put them, or might not have that space.
yeah.
So if I don't have anybody in the harbor that wants to move, and we've got people that need to come off the wait list, what do I have available, and is it gonna make sense to put them there, is it gonna be a danger to the boats around them, to them, the docks? So
Yeah, I'm not second guessing you, I just
They
want
don't
to
necessarily-
understand.
they don't necessarily have an opportunity to ask for a slip change, but what I have told the people that we've already pulled off the list is that, you know, based on our ordinances, once we pull you in and you accept the slip, then between July 1st and August 1st of the current year, which this one, we had an early one and closed that this year, that we get you in the harbor and we see how it goes for the season, and then next year you put in the slip change and we'll play it by year.
Okay.
Now I have had to pull a couple people off the list where, based on the safety of the boat or how it was working in the harbor, I needed to move them around just after I gave them the slip change, which worked out for the betterment. But most of the people who are coming off the wait list are so happy to get into the harbor, they don't really have anything to say about where they're going yet, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
He's been very good at this. There's been a couple of things I have not necessarily agreed with, but when he explained why he did what he did, it made perfect sense. So I have 150% confidence in him that he's gonna do it fairly and he's gonna take care of the harbor.
Thank you.
Other than the weather, it seems like it's been calmer down there lately.
A little bit right now, yeah, right now, but
Yeah, busy, yeah.
we need to get back out on the water again.
When are we gonna do asphalt on the boat ramp area?
Not until after the season.
After
Yeah,
October or something?
They're gonna need a full week of that closed down, so we can't do it
Okay.
now.
Any concerns on your part for us?
For,
And how do you like that caterer? Pedro, is that what we named it?
He's a mule and his name's Pedro.
it's working.
I've been corrected.
It's what we, it works good for what we need it for, be able to
Good.
move around the harbor and move back and forth between the boat launch. I have to go back and forth so many times during the day to deal with all kinds of phone issues, but it works out perfectly well,
Good.
so you know.
We got
And
it
it's
last
fun
year.
to
So that's
drive.
their employee?
It's
a
like
caterer.
it.
It's a,
I know,
It's
the
an
poor, please, let's not call it a human name. No, and we really shouldn't, it's confusing. Do we have a new employee as well for the summer?
Do we have an employee?
Harbor seasonal?
Yeah.
No, we have our second maintenance person, Dayton.
Okay.
Yeah, but we don't
He's
have a
working
harbor
good.
seasonal, he's been filling in.
He's been doing a good job.
We haven't had any interest in that position. It's a part-time, over the weekend, nobody really wants to do it.
all right, anything else for our harbor master? We don't need to vote on that, it was just an FYI thing, so.
Yeah, I would just like to add, I know that the discussion of opening it to a slip change date is on your guys' mind. I just want to add that regardless of whether you open or not, depending on what we have and how it's gonna work, I may not be able to move anybody, so maybe you guys can factor that into your decision of whether you want to open this up again or not. I've got several people that have already issued forms that were put on the bottom of the priority for the last one just because of people that needed to move, for safety reasons or whatever. And at this point, having to weigh in the factor with the list and people who are already there and things like that, there's not a guaranteed solution that anybody will get moved just because they want to move. So that might help you guys.
Do we
make that
need
choice.
a motion on that?
No.
We don't need a
Do
motion.
you want, I mean, I just
It's just
assumed that based
FYI.
on the discussion, you guys all wanted it to open up. We're gonna open it up, but he's gonna make the open.
There you go, we're all going this way.
Yeah,
So it's your baby now.
But next year, they get one shot,
Yeah.
one shot only. It's not fair to keep bouncing this around the way we've been doing it, and it's not the way it's been done in the past. Well, mostly. Never heard, I know.
Everybody done with me?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Nice to see
I'm not
you.
done.
Bye, Dave, see you on Thursday.
All right, thank you.
Next up
Thank you.
is a request for a street name change, and I got information on that. So I see expressions.
I think it's hilarious.
Where,
it is, our lane.
it's one street east of Ainsley. Okay, I
Yeah.
have, my concern was,
Small
can
thing.
I just say my concern, or do we need a motion to do it? We need to talk about it. This needs, street name changes are really putting into process and ordinance. If we reassign names to streets based on all, somebody that's died, we'd be changing a lot of street names for all the people that have died lately. And historically, I question, I've done a historic pretty deep dive, and I've never seen it named anything other than our lane. So I agree.
We got some archives out of the basement, it's
Yeah.
always been,
It's been
some of the,
What's happened is people have been putting up their own old sign calling it happy hour. I've seen it everywhere I've lived where people get funny with these dead end streets and wanna name them. It doesn't make it legal, it's never actually been happy hour lane, but they can put a wood sign up, we haven't, it's not something we don't stop people from doing.
And if we did, they'd just steal the street sign anyway. Who wouldn't want a street sign that says happy
Yeah.
hour?
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not just, there's, fire department addressing, and there's a Lincoln
there's
County
a
addressing.
protocol that all.
Well, there would be a lot we would have to do to change it, yes.
So do we need an ordinance that governs how a street name is changed that would include things like the fee that people pay that would cover some staff time and street sign and all
Doing
that?
a street name policy will be low on my list.
And that's exactly what I was.
Very low on my list, I don't have time to do something, we might wait until we update the code, but this is a very low priority to worry about how we name our streets.
I just feel that.
So this, just like it's been done in the past, the council can choose to do it by resolution, which is how it's been done in the past. So it's up to you, if you don't wanna do it, we'll let the residents know, the council chose not to do it.
So is this a staff recommendation that we are changing the name? Is that what I see on this memo?
Oh, no, I'm not recommending, I'm just approval of resolution, I should say that consideration
Well, yeah, and
of approval of resolution, because I'm not recommending it, because
There is no
I
historical
don't
precedent.
care.
no, they came to staff and they asked us, and then we just said, we not do it.
It has to go to council.
And that's, we're kind of tight.
And
Is
you're
there- is
saying
there-
that there's never been a record of it being called happy hour?
No, there's rumors of that, but
Probably a
it's
wood
urban
sign.
rumors, and I mean, you lived up there forever and a day, and it's,
Yeah,
it's
it's
always.
always an hourly.
Okay, I'm seeing a bunch of, did you have?
Is there any benefit to the city by renaming this? Is there any real
Oh,
benefit by
absolutely.
anyone to see other than a motion?
There's no negative nor plus to
No,
that.
there is negative. The readdressing that would have to happen
The cost.
in the assessment
Yeah.
office, assessor's office, the, fire department office, the,
GPS.
It's not any more than I have
Yeah,
to do a day
GPS,
cook
all
out of
that.
it. So there's always gonna be staff time, so it's really more negligible to do that. But again, it's down to whether the council wants to do this. If you don't wanna do it, then nobody makes a motion and it doesn't happen.
Are they here?
No,
And I was really curious too, because I've heard
No.
that,
I don't know who
and
that
we
first
did some archives and
first screen is.
found very old records from the
Carl
early,
found that great.
early 70s.
I think
And it says.
Greta was on it for a while.
It says hourly,
Okay, so if we don't
I was
have a
curious
motion,
myself.
suggest.
Yeah, if you don't want a motion for it, then it's just dead essentially.
Yeah, it's a great idea, nice books, I mean, Fuzzy is one of them, right?
Yeah, fuzzy, right, yeah, we did some research on where the term happy hour came from. And you found out.
Yes,
it's
the
like
Navy, it was a Navy
It's a
term.
Navy term.
So, 19, where did I say 19? Okay, moving on to the next thing, the resolution for amending the garbage fees. Do we have a sample resolution in
It's
there?
attached.
Do I hear a motion to accept?
What happens if we don't? I mean, it sounds, I don't think there's really an option, right? I mean, if we don't do it, they don't haul our garbage, so.
Yeah, I remember that came up in Millersburg once, that's exactly what happens.
So we really are, I'm gonna make the motions that we approve resolution 590-25 for solid waste removal for the upcoming year.
I'll second. Do we have any discussion? We certainly appreciate your work and all your folks, big time.
I think you should do a fall cleanup event.
On Cook Avenue.
No! We're doing that anyway. We're doing that anyway. But no, it seemed like such a success this spring. And I know I used it. So I was like, I could do some more stuff.
I've had the drivers ask me, I can't get down Cook
Yeah.
Avenue. It's
Oh,
See,
yeah.
that's another.
We talk about it a lot.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 590-25, amending the garbage fees. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, that passes.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Next is our August 1st council meeting rescheduling.
Yeah, so traditionally the last 3 years, but this National Night Out is the first Tuesday of every month. So our council meeting is the first Tuesday of every month. So Kathy had suggested getting it canceled, but you guys can always choose to reschedule it and have the meeting on the 12th and the regular meeting on the 19th. It's up to you. So you'd have to have it 2 Tuesdays in a row if you wanted to.
So we can just skip one if we want to.
What about our workload?
Is the workload light enough to do that?
No, it's just whether or not I'll have things ready for you. And that's the thing, you know, the workload hasn't lightened up, but it's me getting together to get things ready for you.
Does it have to be on Tuesday? Can we do it on Monday, the 4th instead?
We might be getting ready for National Night Out, I'm not sure. So,
Or the 6th?
we've already planned for a longer extra time, so I might be able to get you more for the 20th or the 19th, so might give me a chance to, I do wanna bring up the dock leases, but we might do that at a work session. So how about what we can talk about, if you're okay with it, is that not have the first August council meeting, we do need a work session. So the work session can replace that, so we can talk about some of these other things.
Let's get some stuff.
When?
On
Well, that's up to you.
the next.
It can be
Tuesday.
anytime you want. It could be not next week. I can take, shoot, if you want to, you could do it.
We could do it on 29th.
I'll be fine.
I'll be gone. I'll be on vacation. I'm taking half of next week and half of the first week.
What if we did it on the 12th? It's just a work session, right?
August 12th.
Yeah, so you can do it on 12th at 5. If that works for everybody.
How big of a work session is this? Are we gonna have hundreds of pages of package review?
No, but since the one will be the harbor user fee, you may have a lot of people
Oh,
here.
there'll be a lot of discussion.
Full gallery.
Yeah, for sure.
But they can't say anything, it's a work session.
Well, you can choose to have them say something.
But you can also choose not to, which might be the case.
Can we maybe do it the week that we were gonna do the council meeting, but do it later in the week, like a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of that week?
Thursday would be good. I prefer not Wednesday because I'm gonna be beat.
What other committees are scheduled for the 7th?
Nothing on Thursday.
Thursday doesn't work for me then.
Okay.
Train,
Yes, we do.
Council Rec really should be at that one.
What's that?
The one that discusses the RVs.
I'd like to be there, yeah. I could do it on Friday.
I could do Friday as well.
What, Friday the
Friday the 8th.
eighth?
Oh, did we have to do it on a Friday?
Well, we could keep it at 12 if we need it.
If the 12th works, I would really prefer the 12th.
August 12th, I'm good with that.
It works for everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
What time?
What do you want, 4, 5, what do you
Work
want?
sessions are normally 5 o'clock.
Yeah, but you can make them anytime you want. It's just what everybody's schedule will allow.
Five's good, cause it'll
Okay.
get, fun.
August 12th, 5 o'clock, work session. And my feeling is if we're gonna come together for a work session, we should, have it as long as it needs to be and not just artificially end it at 7. If it needs to go longer so we can actually we can't make a decision, but we can make a recommendation for a decision on the 19th, right?
Right. I don't, right now, off the top of my head, have a ton of stuff, but I do have things, and the Harvey user fee is a big one. And that will,
And the dock
The dock leases.
the dock leases we should talk about, and I'm thinking about something else. I may have a draft of the updated STR code, because Councilor Mazzella and I worked on it one point, and I have an update just to throw at you to look at, and to discuss.
And what did the legislature do? Nothing.
They did nothing.
Okay.
They.
So it's the same,
It'll
30-70 mix?
70-30
right now, but they didn't make up in the short session.
And what about the Glenwood Beach, is there anything to do on that?
We, so thanks for asking, Council, because I was gonna tell you, I'm not sure why I'm gonna meet with the regional folks. Because for some reason, they're concerned because Depoe Bay will have to absorb the cost of the improvements of the wastewater and the lines and stuff like that, if we don't keep Glenwood as a customer, which is true, but that's not anything we're in immediate threat of, you know what I mean? We're not immediately threat of within the next few years blowing up the city. We don't have our facilities plan, which is, the council approved for us to move forward with that, which is going to determine what needs to be done.
But it's not in the next 2 years.
No, but my frustration is that because of getting the county commissioner involved and these regional governor folks and everybody, they wanna say, well, what do we need to do to get Depoe Bay some money? And I'm like, I talked to Moonshot Missions, Genevieve, who's been helping us out, she got contacted, and I said, why do we need money? I said, Genevieve, we don't need money. We're not trying to build a plant, we're not trying to do anything right now.
I think I feel that they're pushing us to keep Glenwood Beach. They do not understand that we really are serious.
Well, they're either trying to say we're gonna have to spend a lot of money when it comes time to upgrade our systems if we don't have Glenwood. We are going to need to spend millions of dollars, which we don't have right now.
We're gonna need to spend millions of dollars with Glenwood.
Right, but they'll help pay for it. They'll help pay for it. We can also build in what we don't have from Glenwood right now, which are the capital reserves.
But
That's what the whole negotiation is.
We're gonna have to do that when we renegotiate the contract.
Exactly, that's what I'm
So-
talking about. So that's keeping Glenwood as a customer as a new contract, which means factors in SDCs, factors in capital, et cetera, et cetera. But for some reason, they seem to think that we need to understand. I think there's also a push to have the city do a district with Glenwood.
We don't.
So, I will know more after I have this meeting. I've told them that I'm happy to meet to discuss funding as long as it's grant funds, et cetera, even though I've told them all ad nauseum this, so we'll see what happens on this, but,
So this isn't gonna come up at the workshop, right?
unless I meet before then, in which case we may have a short discussion about it. But it won't be to make any decisions or determinations or anything like that. I don't think we're anywhere near that yet. But I'm just losing, there's just a few things I thought I wanted to do, that was on that, so
Okay.
thank you.
So we've got the note about the council meeting has been canceled. We've decided on August 12th at 5 p.m. for our work session. That brings us to item 6, approval of services agreement for software purchase.
Yes, so Unicode is our website, and one of the things I hope you saw in the project updates, that we used extensively Unicode in Millersburg, and it is such a streamlined service. It saved my life as being the only person putting together the council packets there. But anyway, so there's a lot of integration, Civic Plus and everything. So this is it's called their agenda and meeting management software. But this is the added benefit of what they call their Media Plus, which is the live streaming. Have you ever been at the Lincoln County Board of County Commissioners page on their meetings? That's what they use. That's exactly when you can click, you can actually see it stream live. One of the most attractive things about it is, for me, from having used it in Millersburg, is the ease of putting together the packet. Right now, it takes Carla and me days and hours to assemble a packet. Then I turn it all over to Carla and I say, now you get to put it all together. She makes it PDF, she saves it, does all this work, attaches all the documents. And then we push it out and we have to do the various things.
So what would this software do?
This will do the template that you can simply upload the things, and then it puts the packet together and you make it available, and it pushes it out to the website because of the integrations. When it comes time to take in the minutes, that's another thing that takes Gina hours to do. It takes me time to review them, because she has to essentially listen to it twice. And this also benefits Carla for all the other, the commission, the planning commission, because as they sit here with the software program, they can type what they would type on a Word document into the agenda material, and it will assemble the minutes. Because everything is template based. Another thing, so when those of you that like to do it from the computer, Councilor Marcella is a big one. There might be times where you are like, I don't care about this, this, and this, but I do care about this, so I'm gonna jump on this item right away. What do you have to do now? Scroll through a lot of pages, right? With this software, all you have to do is click on the link. Like if all you wanted to see was the garbage fees, you would see the agenda and you would just click on the agenda item, it would pop you right to that area. So it will save a lot of time on your end. The other thing is one of the things I really like is, people who review videos, and I know some of you do go to the other meetings and you review other meetings. Well, it's the same thing with using this connection. You don't have to watch or scroll through the entire meeting. You can just click on, it will timestamp and link it to the agenda item.
Oh, that's cool.
I know, and for those of you who go, okay, well, I got this, the planning commission meeting's 2 hours long, but I only care about this small piece and it's buried in the middle, I'll just go to the agenda, click on it. Help you out a lot, help us out a lot, but it will also be a great platform for our residents to find the things, for people to go through and look for stuff. And I think, and I would hope that maybe if we do this and by rolling it out, we can really say, okay, residents, look, transparency is a big issue. Here, we've just made this easy for you. Look how easy it is to do. The other thing is that when we do resolutions and ordinances, because we already are going to do the code republication, which I've already signed up for because that was under my threshold. That was a very good price, much better than I thought it would be. I will be able to, or Gina will be able to, push out resolutions that will get posted to the website right away. No more scanning, all this other stuff that we have to do right now. It will stream, once we get it under our belts, it's not a hard software to learn, but I expect once we get it 6 months, things will come out smoother, we'll have minutes faster, and not just for the council, I'm not talking about the council. We have 7 committees and commissions to support. This will make it easier for us all to do all of that.
So this municipal code thing, is that separate from the 2-year $14,000?
Yes, the republication, that was under $5,000 to republicize our code.
But this is
separate from this, yes. What I was just explaining that, like during this meeting, we had a resolution we adopted.
Yeah.
We would be able to find it out, and when it's finalized, meaning we say approved, push it out to the website right away. The other thing is that this is new, they have something called minute snippets now. So you know when you do minutes, you might read, Mayor Shore called the meeting to order and a quorum was established. We can tell them to create these minute snippets for us, so she could click on the call meeting to order, and then meeting snippet, call meeting to order, boom, then she moves on to the next item. There are so many shortcuts now that they didn't used to have, so that's why it's better now than it was in 2020. So,
Councilor
Can I ask some questions?
yeah, and then Councilor Canino.
First question I have is, I noticed under the resident portal section that it was requiring logins. Does that mean that in order for somebody to find something on the website, they have to log in first to be able to do that?
and no, that would be that is something that they have, these optional enhancements that will allow residents to actually get in there and do more activity, but no, they're not gonna have a login.
And then, I've come from the software world, so I'm quite familiar with software. And I see lots and lots of spaces in here where it says additional fees will apply. And so I'm just curious if when we look at this quote here, how many of those additional fee apply sections are being rolled into this quote that we have?
There's a lot of what they call optional enhancements I didn't sign up for. So I would have to look at what that particular item is because, and I didn't include them in the pack, I was trying to condense the packet for you.
Like live streaming says additional fees.
That is included in this because what they're doing is that because of the promotion they're running right now, the Civic Media Plus, which is that live streaming, would be a separate software program, but they're bundling it all together in one. So there is a separate charge, but it's part of this right now.
Just 1 year or all the years?
2 years.
And then the last question I had specifically to the quote was that it says that there's going to be an annual uplift of 5%. And it says that it's on year 2, so why didn't they just quote us the correct amount for year 2? Because if they quote on year 2 at $7,300 and then they're gonna do another annual uplift on it at 5%, then
I don't know why they
it's
didn't
like
do that,
$700 or something.
but we can factor that in. I can ask Megan about it, you know. We would budget, because it's over 10,000, the council needs to approve it.
Right.
But our budget is only gonna absorb the 77,350 this year, which we can't, I have it built in. The second 7,000 will be budgeted, and that time we'll budget the uplift.
Okay, so the estimate here is not paid upfront, 14,000.
No, I talked to them, we're only gonna pay for year 1, and I also said, well, what if, cause we ended up, when I left in Millersburg, I told them the purpose is take some of this stuff off, it's not being used, there's no point in paying for it, I asked her about that. I said, what if we decide we don't want some of this, it's not working for us? We can let go of it or change it within 60 days from the renewal.
So I'm all for the use of technology to help us, and I think that what's been outlined is a great use of technology for that, and so I would support it.
I'd like to.
Councilor Ken?
Yeah, I support it, I just had a couple of just, our feeling is this is going to go positive overall, everyone feels. Couple of questions, upgrades, you've answered that. Do you feel this is a real value for your system? And to add to that, your labor hours that you use for your curve for the systems that you have now and your staff that we have, do you feel this is a real value added, savings and will help us long term?
Oh, absolutely.
And then is there a training package that comes with that you're happy with? So I've kind of read some of this, but it's not really specific.
Sure.
It says, here's you get the car, and now if you want this, this, and this. So you specifically decide, will they build this according to what your needs are specifically, and will you be happy with it? And will they support it?
Yes, so Civics Plus has #1 service. Everybody loves these people. They're awesome. We've used them a lot here just with Unicode. As far as value, first of all, they will tailor it completely to Depoe. They will use it'll look slightly different, but they'll use our agenda, so whatever we wanna do, they'll use our phrasing. they'll do everything we wanna do. They'll create all the initial templates. Actually, they create all the templates. They'll create all the initial templates for up to 10 boards, and we have 7. So, and then they'll create the staff reports, they'll put all that together. So all we're gonna have to do is basically pull and drop and fill, upload resolutions,
But
upload
how much
things
will
like
it
that.
save you in labor costs?
I would say that based on Millersburg, it probably reduced my workload in half because and I'm talking about when I would prepare a packet, it would usually take me 7 to 10 hours just preparing the packet in Millersburg, and that was not with me writing the resolution, writing the documents. Here, I write many of them, which AI has helped out a lot with that anyway, but now I can actually, there's a workflow where I could really kick in the card and have her upload them. So, or Gina and have her upload them. So it's gonna save a lot of time. And for Gina's time, she is not gonna have to be at the meeting and then listen to the meeting again and, to catch everything, because they also have some transcription service as well, which is better than Zoom's, which is terrible, but it's better than Zoom's, but, transcription, AI does the
Well,
best.
that's an added additional fee.
No, it's because it comes with Media Plus, with Media. It's part of the package. Yes, I checked on that, but that's a good question. 6 hours of training for everybody is included in it. Plus, they have so much support videos and information, and their support, like I said, is second to none. They're wonderful. You get a response sometimes within 30 minutes if that, and that's just very unusual for software.
Where are they based from?
This one, I think they have all kinds of places, but I think their main office is Utah. Some of the best software comes out of Utah.
Another question?
What
No, wait, this one's Kansas,
Why
sorry.
don't we do we wanna do a motion?
Sure.
And then we can have, do we have a motion for the approval of a contract with Civic Plus for implementation and use of the agenda and meeting management system in the not to exceed total amount of $14,650 for a term of 2 years?
I'll make that motion.
I think it's authorizes city administrator, do you wanna include the 5% uplift?
No, I don't care about
Okay.
that, but
And-
I do want to have that the city recorder be authorized to execute the agreement.
Okay, so that was amended. Did you second it then? Is that what you were doing?
I will.
Okay, motion made, amended, seconded, all in favor say aye.
Can I just ask first?
Aye. Oh, the discussion thing.
I just wondered where this was gonna fit in the implementation with Cassell, because Cassell is gonna be important for us from an accounting standpoint, and I wanna make sure that we're gonna be aligned on both of these and that
This one will be a lot easier, and Cassell,
for sure.
so this one, we have a workflow, and I don't know, she showed it to me. I will have, like, for example, I'll probably have Carla upload a lot of the templates and send them to them, so I'm gonna have them, Gina and Carla, do a lot of that work. But I'm committed to getting Cassell, so we're gonna be moving on that one pretty soon. That one, I haven't heard what the lead time on that one is, like, how fast they are, because they're very busy.
But is there an integration, I think is what it's.
Oh, the integration, there isn't any.
No, I just wanted to make sure that staff time with implementing 2 software projects at the same time is not gonna be an impact to staff.
One of the big things we had to do for Cassell was fill out all these worksheets, which I have done. And have sent those off. So I'm waiting for the next step. That was a big effort.
Okay.
That took a lot of time.
So this one would be implemented first, Cassell is gonna follow, because we don't have a
Exactly.
timeline for Cassell yet. Okay, thank you.
Any other?
Is there any more upgrades that needs to be added to this system as well to support this, like from our system, our memory?
Oh, gosh, no, it's all cloud-based.
Okay.
And our bandwidth is not too shabby here. Sometimes it's a little sluggish in the afternoon, but we're pretty
What
good.
don't you like about it?
What I don't like about the meeting,
No, but yeah, about the system.
the software program, well, they haven't changed this feature, but it drove me crazy. You can only upload DOCX documents. So if you have it, if you're taken an old resolution, and it's still a Word 97 to 2003, you can't upload it. You have to save it as a DOCX, then you can upload it. That used to throw me for a loop because I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. I'd get on service and they'd say, did you save it as a .cox? So that is going to be a headache, but other than that, no, that's the only thing I didn't like because it just, and even 2 years after using it, I would still occasionally forget.
Okay.
So that was a hassle.
All right, are we good? All in favor say aye. And anybody opposed?
Thank you, this will
Good to
be,
go, yay.
this will be a very exciting enhancement for us. And for the residents, and for you guys, when you
I'm
see
ready.
it.
Give me the link, I'll go there.
I know you will. I think you'll like it because you use the online thing so much.
So now we're on staff reports, I think, although
Yes.
we lost in space here.
I was trying to think if I have anything else, 2 extra things. One, we got our small city allotment round 1 grant money today, $248,100. So that Bay Street project is closed. We're gonna close out it's done, and so we got our money in today. Something else. So I do remember those questions about all that stuff on ODOT's right away and utility poles and waiting for all this ODOT stuff. Well, their responses are delayed, as you all know why. So they do have a response about the utility pole and the sidewalks. As the poles, here's what they're saying. As the poles placements were compliant at the time of installation, utility relocation with ODOT right-of-way is only mandated when necessitated by a highway project's design. If the city is interested in pursuing this independently and is willing to fund the relocation, we can work with you and the utility company to issue the necessary permits and ensure everything meets current ODOT standards. You didn't budget it, it wasn't approved for the budget, but you did want answers, so there's your answer on that one. And
The legal one, we're not gonna hear anything more till August, correct?
What's that?
Legal topic, yes or no?
well, so that's what I understood from that
Okay, so
update
that's
we gave
still.
you guys. What did I put in there?
No, that's what you
That's
just
the data.
put,
Oh, I was supposed to say, did I forget something on there? I did contact some folks regarding the, Councilman Silla had brought up, as I understand about, Department of Revenue looking to take our issues. I'm doing some more research on that because part of the issue was compliance, and I think they have some aspect of compliance, but what they I don't think do is go out and find people that were in your situation where they might have.
They already said no because of WorldMark though. So WorldMark was the problem when you originally reached out to them. They didn't know how to handle timeshare, so they wouldn't take us because we had WorldMark.
But that's not what they told me. They told me that our ordinance they weren't gonna work within our ordinance. So I'm trying to find out another city who has an ordinance that they like.
So
They did give us a sample ordinance. Did I ever share that with you?
I don't recall ever seeing
Okay.
that.
So because that'll be something we can work on for the work session, I will send it to Councilor Masella. And that's what they have it's probably very boilerplate, but we can I'll send it to everybody, but I don't know, it's having to look about, this is what we would need ours to look like. But maybe plus, maybe we want some extra things in there, but I don't remember them saying it was about
I
timeshares.
thought it was because of how we charge timeshares.
But I'll go look at my notes on that,
Yeah.
maybe I forgot.
That's what I had in my notes.
Okay.
and I have another question on your report. The DMO, it looks like you're gonna have a thing to us in August.
Yep.
And is the same TV ad gonna run again?
We're gonna do something in August, we haven't really talked about it, I did get some nearshore action, I finally got a DVD thing to read the look
Oh,
of the
good.
DVDs.
Okay.
So I'm gonna review the nearshore action stuff, but I have a feeling that's old stuff that we may not wanna do, but we would wanna decide what our what our target, what do we wanna say,
That's our
you
message.
know? What do we want, although I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from that ad that ran.
So we spent $3,000 on that ad, and that was it. The creation of it, the airtime of it, that was all, the whole package was
I think
3,000.
so, yeah.
Because that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Having sold it and bought it, half my life, that's.
And they
had good
I gave them
times.
the images and they put it all together,
Yeah.
plus the voiceovers and
No, I've been really happy with it.
But anyway, so what, this might be, maybe we can talk about this at the work session, what is the council, what do they want the theme to be? What do you wanna talk about in August? What do you just wanna showcase the city again
Well,
and
it's-
these
it's-
different images?
It's leading into the whale migration for the winter.
That is another thing, because we also wanna do one later in the year to get people here during the winter, we hope.
Yeah, so we wanna do king kites for sure. So,
Yes.
Those are
Yes.
two big winter things that would attract people here, so.
I need to find out if anybody has any video or images of the King Tides weekend.
LCD would have some.
Out west photography.
Okay, oh yeah, he's a
Picture on your wall, that's a good one. Magnificent.
Anybody have any other questions on the staff report?
Do we have a time for the picnic?
No,
Just says September
not for the
26th.
one in September, but it's usually about midday.
Brent?
Yeah, so the Larissa Plaza issue, we didn't get, past, emails, because there was some landscaping that hadn't been
That
done.
is my fault, I did forget that, I will send that out to you. The Larissa Plaza, I got a report, and basically they're saying there isn't anything you can do about the ADA or to make them do signs because it's a private lot. So,
But there was
I'll
some
send that
conditions
to
of
you.
approval regarding, the landscaping that Kit had worked on, the former city planner. And I didn't see anything about lighting,
The lighting one we still need to address, but they did actually, I went drive by there, they did clean up the lot some, it was overgrown with the city engineer and I went out there, but
But
I
I
need
think
to have
the,
a look at
the conditions of approval will be important to look at, because it's supposed to be.
I'll have a look
And
at
then,
this.
I am really distressed that we are not applying our erosion and, tree removal ordinance. This is now the second time. So I don't know how we get the planner, and now we got the former planner that didn't do it, in terms of, before clearing and grading, how they apply that. And then this whole thing about tree protection and erosion control plan is, it's just, to me, this is the aesthetics of our city, and nobody seems to be taking it seriously.
I'm not sure which particular project, because anchor storage, we can address the replanning when we get to the phase 2 issue with that, which he's gonna be applying
Well,
to.
then, yeah.
But our hands are tied with ODOT or PUD taking down trees.
Yeah, but they didn't even preserve the trees because the planning commission didn't acknowledge, just like at anchor storage, that they had to get a grading permit and maintain 20% of the trees.
But my understanding is, now I may be wrong, because I wasn't here when it was originally, but the issue with the trees on Anchor is the new piece that they haven't bothered to get a permit for.
Right.
But they have their 1200Z for their erosion, and they're putting all the barriers up and stuff like that. And I believe we did reach out to DLCD on that, and they understood that they were following the erosion control plan, but the
But
trees.
we have one, we have a grading ordinance.
Right, and John went out and looked at what they were doing, and other than the fact that they didn't have their wetland delineation,
No,
which they've seen
they
done.
had cleared the whole lot without getting a permit
I
and
understand,
maintaining the trees.
I understand that, Councilor Rick, but that's my point, is saying that that's the next phase, which they didn't get approval for. So one of the things that we can do is we can say, okay, Anchor, now that you're coming to us and getting this phase approved, you took down all these trees when you weren't supposed to. Well, now you need to come up with a replanting plan as a condition of approval. So they have to come back and
But they're
say.
taking down mature trees, you can't just, oh my God. The idea is, just do what you want and then ask forgiveness. is happening over and over. This Lincoln County building did the exact same thing. They took down all the trees on the
Yes,
property.
they did.
And
Lincoln
then
County building did not. PUD, they took down the trees
Those
that
are
they
the
were
ones in the
approved to
corridor.
take down.
those are the ones in the forest corridor.
Right,
But there was also ones on the site that they took down and without any approval because the ordinance wasn't properly applied.
my understanding was from the designs, and you guys got that report, that the trees that they took down was what was approved to take down per the planning commission, per the design, but then PUD came behind and they did all their other stuff.
So that if you look at the map, there are 6 trees on the northeast side of that property that are not the ones that PUD said were a danger to their lines. There are 6 of them that are clearly marked on the plan that says they were gonna keep them, but they're not there anymore.
I'll have Creed go take a look at tomorrow when he's in.
The-
Because I
guess
think
the-
the idea he was focusing on the Highway 101 part, which is what I understand was the issue.
Well, and I
But
think the
maybe I
whole point here
misunderstood.
is, we always go in after the fact and say, oh, well, you took them down. We need to stop it before they take them down, and we need to figure out how to stop them from
I
doing
agree
it.
with you guys. It's like
I would love to know how you want
It
us
is
to
becoming
stop them if we
a
don't know they're doing it.
Well, that's where we need to come up with a tree ordinance that says for every one of those trees that you took down that are not on the plan, you're gonna be charged $10,000 or something that makes it so unattractive for them to take those trees down. Because right now, all they have to do is take them down and we come back and we say, oh, well, now you have to plant new trees. Those trees would take 40 years to get to.
This is where I will get with the attorney then, because with the new legislature and this changes, they may not allow us to do that. But I will have we don't have a land use attorney, so Creed gave me 3 people, I'll check them out, because we don't really have a land use attorney.
Well, there should be something in the tree ordinance. When we're gonna build the tree ordinance, I mean, there's gotta be some kind to.
My point is that we can't build a tree ordinance that the state would not like us to do.
Well,
So we have to have a land use attorney who understands SB 1536 in a way that I don't.
It does not apply to cities our size, from what I understand.
Some of it does.
And the whole thing is, we do have an ordinance about this grading that says you have to maintain at least 20% of the trees. We have an existing ordinance, we just have to add penalties to it.
Well, the penalties are whatever's in the land use code in whatever that section is. We would just need to decide, do we start? And then what's our line in the sand? So we can say, well, you took down trees, do they have to replant in a certain time frame, or they get charged a day? So if you're talking about increasing, like, can we say $10,000 a tree? I don't know that we can do that, I would have to ask for the attorney.
$500 a day.
Until when?
Until the trees are 40 years old.
We won't get that.
Of course I won't.
So that's my point, is that we need to know what an attorney will say we can do within what the regulatory requirements are.
It's really starting to be a negative impact on the aesthetic of Depoe Bay, like it really, yeah, it needs to be addressed. It does.
Can't we assess this from the start? When they initially come in and request their permit or their whatever facility they go through, can't we address this directly and say, since this lot has this amount of vegetation, including these size trees, and put some verbiage in there to be noted that this needs to be addressed as far as how it's gonna impact not only our town, the site, the drainage, the sediment waste, all those factors have to be kind of addressed into this.
That's already addressed in there.
Yeah, no,
When
but
they
it's
do
not.
their designs, they have to show that they're following the land use development code,
So
not just
then-
partly what gets approved.
This is where our weakness is because we don't have any way to facilitate this.
Yeah, we don't monitor.
Right.
They come in and they say, oh, we'll leave 20% of the trees, and they don't. And we can find out about it when they're laying on the ground.
Right,
It's
because
too late at that point.
so I don't have a person that can go and explore the city all the time when there's something going on.
And I believe that the whole point of it is if you make it so expensive to them that they look at it and say, you know what? that's gonna cost us X number of dollars more by taking those trees down. And that's gonna have to be passed on to the people who are gonna live in those houses, which means those houses are no longer gonna be $400,000 houses, they're gonna be $500,000 houses. All of a sudden, the developer now says, oh, you know what, we better do something to make sure those trees don't get cut down because we can't afford to do this project with that added cost.
Well, and sometimes, you know, I know from being a project manager, before people break ground, there's an inspection and there's a going over the standards. And when there's large tracts that are treed, maybe, you know, the tree doesn't have to go out to every single 50 by 100 lot, but, you know, he doesn't seem to like to go out in the field and.
He does, he goes out in the field.
But, so maybe a pre-development meeting before they graze, before they cut trees.
A pre and post.
Yeah,
Can you mark the trees with like a tape or a color or something?
I think they
They
do.
do. I think that's-
Okay, for
that's good.
instance, the tract, the 5 acre tract on Witch Hill, they counted every tree, they marked every
Cedar
tree.
Hills,
Yeah, they logged every tree, and I haven't gone back to recount what they've left,
I
but
know, and
allegedly they,
I remember the verbiage was
Yeah.
the ones they did wanna leave were just, they were so narrow and skinny and they
Right.
said they were falling over.
most of
There
them
was
have
a lot
fallen
of,
over anyway, because you can lay those out, so can we maybe wrap that topic
I
up?
will indicate to the land use attorney what I've heard tonight
Okay,
and find out if we can do any of this.
I think that's our first step.
That's what I will do.
Okay, thank you. Anything else on the staff report?
yeah, we got catwalk is moving right along at the wastewater plant.
We just got another change order for $7,000 on this due to the air hose
The air
thing that
line,
you
air line.
added.
Well, it was, we have to air to the bugs. We need to aerate our bugs.
I mean, I may bring it, I may be able to approve it if it still keeps us with under what you guys approved. But if you see it in August, it's because it's either gonna push us over what we were budgeting for, so that's, you'll know, but I'll let you know either way. So if you don't see it, it's good, I'll let you know that it was signed and approved and it's under
Is that on
budget.
catwalk?
Yeah.
Okay,
And the crew seems to be real efficient, they're moving pretty professionally.
Good.
RL Runners is a very good company.
Any closing public comment? Anybody online?
Nope, you got no public comment, you got Jack.
Jack, don't source alone. Okay, yay, council comments, let's start on this side. You have nothing
I
left to say?
commented out.
Jeez.
so, the county, we were the first county on the coast, declared a drought. And, I do not know if anything's posted on the website or if anything's ready to be sent with our billings or something.
We are not in a drought. City of Depoe Bay is not in a drought. I checked with Brady promised to inform me if we ever got to the point where we should be conserving water. I had this discussion today, just because Lincoln County did it, doesn't mean the city of Depoe Bay is in a drought.
So I think there's more to a drought than just having enough drinking water. I mean, the drought conditions increase fire danger, they do a whole bunch of other things with wildlife and all of that kind of stuff. And so
I think we could do a public service announcement to tell people that while the city is not under drought, things are dry.
why we're not under
Watch your-
drinking water
Right,
restrictions.
watch your cigarette butts, watch your fires, you know. I think they have a burn ban on now, I think I heard
Yes,
that, so.
yeah.
But from a drinking water standpoint, you're exactly right, we are absolutely fine.
Rocky keeps us in, lots
Thank
of water,
God for
Rocky,
Rocky.
North Creek's very low, but we have that aquifer that's very healthy.
Thank goodness for Rocky Creek.
Yeah, that they're gonna be spraying any day now, they're coming in. Okay, and then one more thing, the solid waste, changes, we could post that on our, actually two more things, on our website. I don't know how many people go to our website, but it should be there somewhere if we can. The announcement of what additional containers are accepted.
I will link them to the website of North Lincoln, but Yeah, I can do that, but
Yeah.
it-
That's all, that was good. And then, so I'm
I
not
think they
sure
already
you
are.
guys and what we can do about it, but, I don't know if you know that, gray whales are not doing well, there's not enough food. And, their numbers have been declining, and if you saw the Oregonian article about the blue whales, and there's a lot of Carrie Newell's pictures, one of them is in really poor shape, their scapulars are showing. The ocean conditions are changing and the food is limited, as you know, there's hardly any kelp this year. And when I see 9 boats around one whale, it's pretty depressing to me, and I've asked in the past, there's nothing we can do because it's out in the ocean, but it's distressing that, and last time I brought this up, I suggested, and I got skewered for it on Facebook, that the charter boats consider talking about it as scenic and whale watching tours. So if there's no whales, or there's one whale, there shouldn't be 9 boats around them, that they, we have a beautiful coastline, we have birds, we have, anyway. I just wanted to highlight that wildlife is not, whales are not doing well. And the kelp is not doing well, and kelp is really important for juvenile salmon and rockfish. So anyway, it's not a good situation out there. Just wanted to say it, it makes me feel better to say it.
I have 2 comments that I never do. North Lincoln Sanitary has a great website.
Yes,
And
they
they
do.
send you reminders out Tuesday night for your trash pickup on Wednesday, and they talk about what's recyclable. And I have, after years of preaching to people that they can't recycle their yoga containers, now I can preach when they can. But the website is great, it's a good source of information. It helps me remember when I forget.
Their Facebook page is pretty amazing too.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
Lexi does a
the
really
odd
good
man
job.
out that doesn't do any social media.
I know, but Lexi and them, they do a really good job.
Yes, that's cool. My second comment was, I got to do the fin clipping for the first time ever. I was
Yes, you
wanting to
did.
for years and years, and it was awesome. And I'm glad out of all the struggles the little fish had, that most of them seem to be healthy.
Yes.
So they're gonna be on the end of some angler's line in a couple of years.
I want to thank all the staff for the hard work they're doing and all the positive comments we get from everyone in Joe Q Public out there. I think you guys are working as hard and fast, and we're here to support everything you can do. We'll support you 1,000% on every kind of thing that you want. Just present it overall objective, pluses and minuses, and how it benefits us all.
Okay.
And I also want to talk to everyone sometime in the future. Let's explore some ways how we can generate some additional revenue for our town, for infrastructure. There's lots of ideas, lots of things going on, and we're definitely gonna need some more cash reserves. So let's kind of aim in that direction as a team and see how we can enhance that. And I appreciate all of your input, and whatever I do to help, I'm here. So thank you for your time and your efforts.
Awesome.
And I just hope that Kathy's well soon.
Us too.
All done.
We missed you.
You're doing a good job.
Bill, years ago, when we had a traffic safety commission.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
back earlier this year, the council, I don't know if you were involved in these times, but the council did a work session to talk about revenue.
Yeah.
Do we have notes from that?
Well, you have a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
you forwarded me that.
I just forwarded note because I said I can send you those minutes, I can send you those minutes.
I think we all need.
That will tell you, what they decided at the time, was the Friday,
So
so,
city budget,
we could
so
also
city
make
budget,
that a.
do the ones at the end of town, on either end, say flashing sign that goes, they're going over the speed limit.
Leslie is all in that.
So I don't know why we couldn't